This kid is a walking punching bag. With no dad in the picture to back him up, he's open season for the local savages. They beat him into a pulp. Every single sunset, he drags his broken body home to mom, who patches him up while holding back tears. It's an endless cycle of pain. Until the bullies decide. Basic beatdowns are boring. They want to escalate things. They show up with toxic needles while one massive goon pins him to the dirt, crushing his limbs. Another one strikes. Shka. The venom surges through his veins, turning his vision blood red. They bail, leaving him rotting there to die. Time dissolves in the middle of nowhere. The skies open up, drenching his paralyzed body in freezing rain, but he can't twitch a muscle. Death is knocking at the door. But then, a vision of his mother flashes in his mind. He can't check out yet. Who's gonna keep her safe? He screams silently to the universe, not for riches, just for enough power to protect her and live a normal life. Suddenly, boom thunder shakes the ground. A sword crashes down from the heavens, landing inches from his face. It feels strangely nostalgic. He claws at the dirt, gripping the hilt. Instant download. A tidal wave of memories crashes into his brain. This blade was his in a past life. Not just a weapon, it's a relic from a life where he trained for 100 years straight to become a literal sword god. The amnesia is gone. The power is back. Finally, he can grab that normal life he's been dreaming of. The next morning, Mom panics when she sees our protagonist heading for the door. "Where do you think you're going?" He was half dead yesterday, but today, zero fear. He tells her to chill out. "I got this, Mom." He flashes a confident grin, waves goodbye, and steps out. Meanwhile, under the hangout tree, the gang is getting impatient. Think Young is ghosting us. One goon snickers. "We wrecked him yesterday. He's probably too ashamed to let his mommy see the damage." They all crack up. If he shows, we crush him. If he hides, we rally the whole town to roast him. Just then, a head turns. He's actually here. Young hops down from a branch, eyes narrowing. "You're late, loser." She bet he'd flake, but our hero just faces them stone cold. The big guy steps up to intimidate him. "Young, you should be in a body cast. How are you standing?" The vibe is off. This kid is radiating confidence. "A little roughhousing won't break me," he says. Moon-chan and the crew are stunned. Since when does the punching bag talk back? Jonggil grinds his teeth, veins popping. "Need another adjustment, huh?" He cracks his knuckles, ready to throw hands. Weirdly, our boy thanks him. Young hears her name drop and cuts in, covering her face. She almost blushes, acting cute. "What's with the name dropping today? You feeling brave?" Then, the mask slips. Her voice turns venomous. "Guess the poison tickled. Should we double the dose next time?" Jonggil snaps. "Look at me when I'm talking to you," he screams, demanding attention. He swings a haymaker. Blur. Young catches his face mid-swing and slams his skull into the dirt. Crash. The ground craters on impact. The bully's jaws drop. One hit. How did Jonggil just get folded like laundry? Young's brain short-circuits. This kid has zero martial arts training. Moon-chan starts sweating bullets. "Impossible." Our boy looks at his hand. "Why wouldn't I be able to do what you trash can do?" He looks up. "You're entering the clan leader competition with those weak skills. Embarrassing." He steps forward, radiating an aura so heavy the bullies feel like they're suffocating. Moon-chan clenches his teeth, terrified. He seems like a totally different person overnight. "No, stay focused." Jonggil got caught off guard, he tells himself. "I've trained for years. I won't lose to a scrub like him." With a roar, Moon-chan accepts the challenge, launching himself into the air. He comes down with a knife, strike a kill shot. But our hero doesn't flinch. He catches Moon-chan's wrist mid-air. Snap. The weapon shatters. If this is the competition level he sighs, then the clan leader title is basically mine. He twists Moon-chan's arm like a pretzel. Game over. Complete domination. Meanwhile, at the hidden poison hall, once a throne room, now a retirement home for the elders. One of the old masters addresses the room. "Order in the court. Since everyone is here, let's start." The bracket for the young clan leader tournament is set. However, he pauses, looking over the scroll. "We need to make a final call on one specific entry. Tang Yumyang, son of the infamous Poison Phoenix." Tension fills the room. He hasn't officially signed up, but let's be real, the kid is a walking punching bag for the other disciples. Zero talent. Zero wins. I move to disqualify him before he embarrasses the clan any further. However, a dissenter speaks up. Banning a kid with the previous clan leader's bloodline, that's going to look sketchy, and might ruin the integrity of future tournaments. The elder hears the complaint but pushes back, claiming it's way worse to let a talentless scrub drag down the competition's prestige, even if he has the royal bloodline. Right now, he is nothing but dead weight. Suddenly, boom, the doors fly off their hinges, startling the room. Our boy struts in, casually dragging Tang Young across the floor like luggage. The elders scream, demanding answers. Yeon Myung shoves the injured girl forward, revealing her blood-red eye, a textbook sign of severe poisoning. When they grill him for a reason, he doesn't flinch, admitting he did it on purpose with zero regret. The council members are shook. They have never seen audacity like this. The kid drops the mic. He is done being the Tang clan's punching bag, and he refuses to take any more disrespect. A member loses it, shouting about how he could brutally attack a child competitor. Another emphasizes that assaulting a participant is a major felony here. But as far as our protagonist is concerned, he knows the rulebook cover to cover, asking if there is actually a rule against pre-game skirmishes between fighters. The elder demands he stop playing games. Is he seriously entering the tournament? Yeonmyoung figures the evidence speaks for itself. He tells them to look at the courtyard outside. His main bullies Moon Chan and Jong Gil out cold on the pavement. He just followed the family motto, repay kindness twofold, revenge tenfold. Dead silence falls over the hall. The elder's knuckles turn white with rage, but he has to admit Yeonmyoung proved his point. Other members try to protest, saying he is twisting the rules and putting other kids in danger. The elder shuts them down with a single hand gesture. He rules that Yeonmyoung is in. They can't block a qualified fighter. But he issues a dark warning. Yeonmyoung better hope his skills back up that attitude. If he doesn't win the Yewon clan leader seat, he will pay for this stunt with his life. Back home, Yeonmyoung spills the details to his mom. She is terrified, asking how he could be so reckless, but he insists it was the only way. Hearing the steel in his voice, she realizes this isn't a tantrum. She thinks about his name, Myung, which means surviving against the odds. She thought he was still a baby, but she senses the aura of a warrior now. Overwhelmed, she drops to her knees, gripping his hand. She promises never to ask where he learned his deadly skills again. She just needs to know one thing. Can he actually pull this off? Our boy offers a confident smirk. I am the son of the poisoned phoenix, remember. That hits her hard. And she pulls him into a crushing hug, bursting with pride. Feeling her warmth, our protagonist softens. He swears to protect this peaceful life and destroy anyone who threatens it. Fast forward 1 month to the garden. Tang Ji-hye is strolling with Tang Jo-kwei, the Dark King himself. He thinks they should cancel the brutal qualifiers, saying it is too dangerous for kids. She smiles, telling him to trust the process. She knows our hero has a plan. Even Jo-kwei has to admit the kid's guts and mindset are insane for a 12-year-old. She thanks him for having Yeonmyoung's back. Jo-kwei admits he had to intervene, but he's worried about our boy, skipping formal training. Meanwhile, our protagonist is chilling in his room, meditating. He is focused on a strict routine, clean eating, deep sleep, and using breathing techniques to fix his twisted energy flows. You see, grinding for muscle and skill is a waste of time right now for an awakened swordmaster. Therefore, he knows fixing his physical vessel is the priority. He presses a hand to the floor, thinking that at the tender age of 12, his energy channels are still soft enough to mold. Balancing his whole body on one finger, Yeonmyoung knows that as he levels up, the power will come naturally. Finally, game day arrives. Our boy cheerfully tells his mom he is heading out, and she tells him to stay safe. Tang Jo-kwei says goodbye to his sister, and the duo rolls out. From the doorway, the mother watches them go, whispering a wish that her late husband could see their son now. At the Dark King Hall, the lobby is packed. Our guy is busy stuffing his face with snacks, noting the early crowd. Suddenly, a squad of boys pulls up, whispering that he is the Poison Phoenix's kid, who allegedly dropped Moon Chan. They laugh it off as fake news, claiming a loser like him couldn't learn martial arts. They decide to teach him a lesson in respect. Our protagonist, clearly annoyed by the interruption, flicks a rice cake straight at the leader's face. Twack. The bully hits the deck instantly. The others scream, accusing him of using a hidden weapon. Then one realizes it is just a half-eaten snack and freaks out over the power behind the throw. Yeonmyoung mocks them, challenging the group, asking if they are going to run away or actually fight. Triggered, the entire gang rushes him at once. But our boy, stone cold, doesn't even blink. Tang Jo-kwei rolls up just in time to see a body get ragdolled into the stratosphere. He sprints over, expecting a brawl, but finds a graveyard of groaning bodies. And there's Yang Yang, perched on that human mountain like a king. Dude is casually munching on a rice ball. He looks up totally unbothered and asks if Jo-kwei finally made it because he was dying of boredom. Then flashes that grin. Don't look at me like that, chief. They started it. Tang Jo-kwei literally facepalms. Meanwhile, the council room is absolute chaos, everyone screaming at the Grand Elder. They're losing their minds over the casualty count right before the big event. They can't just sweep this under the rug. Elder Sok-jung drops a bomb, change the rules. Cut to outside nervous tension as the participants line up. One girl leans over whispering, "How's this actually work?" she asks. Her friend breaks it down 2 or 3 years of grinding training first. Then it's one-on-one duels on the big stage. Tang Jo-kwei steps up, demanding silence. He introduces himself as the head honcho, the overseer. He lays out the standard roadmap, 3 years of practice, then the main event. But suddenly, the elder crashes the stage. He flips the script entirely. It's going to be a goo poison match. You can hear a pin drop. Everyone knows exactly what that means. Think venomous creatures thrown in a jar, eating each other until only the deadliest monster is left standing. A literal battle royale. Last man standing takes it all. The elder claims that because of recent, unfortunate incidents, and way too many dropouts. The old dual format is trash. Tang Jokwai knows exactly who's to blame. It's our boy Yang Yang's fault. To stop the bleeding, the elder locked in this brutal new format. The students, absolutely livid. Eyes lock onto Yang Yang with pure hate. The elder ignores the tension, declaring this role is the key to the Tong family's survival. Fight, he commands. Survive. Conquer. Winner takes everything. Our MC scans the crowd of haters and just smirks. Only one survivor allowed. He does the mental math and thinks, piece of cake. Night falls. We cut to a shady meeting at the Dark Moon Sword Sect camp deep inside Black Death Alliance turf, somewhere in Sichuan province. A shadowy figure thanks the crew for showing up, then demands total focus. We need to talk about the Tang family's latest moves. The guys at the round table perk up. You mean the young clan leader? Competition. A third guy nods. Exactly. Our spies confirmed it kicked off a few days ago. The kids with actual potential, the future leaders, are already packed in carriages and moving out. They laugh about how soft the current Tang family is. Their boss, Yu Gil-jun of the Black Death Alliance, could wipe them off the map whenever he wants. But the speaker clarifies why Gil-jun is playing the long game. They're still useful. For now. He points out the obvious. Those kids are the only future the Tang clan has. Snuff them out, and the Tang family suffers a fatal wound they can't recover from. The room nods in agreement with the elder of the Dark Moon Sword Sect. But one guy plays devil's advocate. We gotta be smart. When do we strike? The elder drops a surprise. We do nothing. The room gasps. He explains that hunting them down now is like crushing baby birds. Too easy. Not painful enough. He reminds them this competition is a 4-year grind. Imagine the despair, he whispers, if all those expertly trained kids get slaughtered. Right at the finish line, the masked man grins behind his veil. That would kill the clan's soul. Someone suggests outsourcing the dirty work to the Jegal or Moyong families. Elder Ma Kinhu nods. The plan is set. Track the carriages, wait 4 years, then strike. And the tracking, already done. He's already planted a little seed to guarantee the Tang family crumbles right into their hands. Scene switch. Common Mountain. The competition venue. The instructor marches the group forward. He barks out orders. Rules changed, schedule didn't. Forget your names. You're just numbers now. They're group 7. The instructor does a head count. And wait, they're short one. He spins around, glaring at number 28. It's our main man dragging his feet. Why the lag? The instructor yells. Yang Yang shrugs. Sorry, just lost in thought. Instructor's not having it. He chews him out, warning him to keep up or else. But our boy is focused on something else. How does the leader not feel it? There's a presence. Someone is definitely tailing them. Suddenly, the squad halts in front of a massive sheer cliff. A voice booms from the rocks. Group 7 password. The instructor shouts back. Poison King of Hidden Poison. A mystic light flares up, confirming access. Like magic, a figure steps right out of the solid rock, casually holding a hand fan. I am Jigal Chong Shin, he announces here, to facilitate the games. The students gasp. They know that name. The Jigal family. Formerly one of the 5 great families. Legendary masters of formations who fell from grace during the invasion of the heavens. Brilliance Demon Lord. The squad steps through the cliffside entrance and gets hit with a view that is straight up breathtaking. Jigal Chongshin breaks it down, explaining that this setup is their defense system, a barrier designed to keep randoms from crashing the competition. Yuri's jaw drops. She clocks it immediately. This is the Jigal clan's legendary formation technique. Yijun is just as hyped, realizing that once you step inside this zone, time and space don't even make sense anymore. As they push through a literal wall of lightning, Mirio side-eyes our boy. Something is off. He's spacing out, totally zoned out from reality, which gives her major deja vu from the carriage ride earlier. Cue the flashback to when they were on the road. The instructor told everyone to sound off and introduce themselves. Yuri kept her eyes glued to our main character, because everyone already knew the tea on his last fight. Yijun straight up told him, dude, you're practically a celebrity, especially after he wrecked Tang Yang Ryong so bad. Yuri thinks he's got guts, but she drops a warning he's got a massive target on his back for the next 4 years. After all, Tang Yang Ryong's great-grandpa is one of the 3 elders, and that guy doesn't play nice. Yeon Myung cuts in cool as ice. So you're saying it's my fault this competition turned into a death match? Mirio wasn't having it. Look at that smug grin. That is definitely not the face of a guy who feels guilty about anything. Instead of apologizing, he just smirked, which made Mirio's blood boil. Snap back to reality. Mirio tracks him like a hawk. She swears if this guy pulls any more stunts, she is absolutely gonna lose it. Then boom. She slams right into Yuri because everyone froze dead in their tracks. Yuri and Yijun look absolutely terrified. Jigal Chongshin, their guide, gone, vanished into thin air. But our boy just steps up and reaches out into the void like it's nothing. Mirio is thinking, what is this guy doing? He's way too chill for this crisis. Meanwhile, Jigal is strolling down the path solo. He's grinning, imagining the kids panicking inside the trap right about now. He knows the deal. Once you're inside the Jigal family's 7-lock Phantom Dome formation, there is zero escape without the caster. He remembers the elders offer double the funding for the Jigal clan if he takes out number 28. Easy money. But then crack, the air behind him literally splits open. 4 heads pop out of the tier like peekaboo. Changshin screams, totally losing his composure. Our boy hits him with a casual question. Yo, instructor, what exactly happens if you ditch us? Changshin chokes, then stammers out a lie about making a navigation error. Yuri spins around, demanding to know how he pulled that off. His answer, I just cut it. Simple as that. Mirio decides to ignore the physics-defying logic for now. She yells at the group to stick to Jigal like glue so they don't get lost again. Too late. They look up, and Changshin is gone again. He yells, I vanished, as he bolts. Our boy lets out a heavy sigh like he's dealing with a toddler. The instructor sprints away, feeling pathetic for running inside his own trap. He spots the shining exit leading to the training grounds. He bursts out, thinking, okay, that should hold them for good. Hold it. A voice stops him cold. It's Tang Wanjin Group 7's supervisor. The instructor starts sweating bullets. So he panic lies, claiming Group 7 pulled a no-show and won't be participating at all. But right on cue, the air behind them fractures. Our hero jams his dagger through the invisible wall from the other side, and the reality barrier shatters into a million pieces like cheap glass. Jigal watches in horror as his family's ultimate technique. The 7-lock Phantom Dome gets absolutely destroyed. Yeonmyeong steps through, eyes glowing an ominous red. Mirio is floored. How did he bust through a high-level formation with a dinky short sword? How is that even possible? She gasps. Our boy shrugs it off. He didn't break the formation. He just sliced open a gap. He warns them it's sealing shut, so move it. Up ahead, the supervisor barks out. Are you guys the participants for Group 7? The students say yes, but hit him with a, who are you, until one of them spots the Tang family crest on his hood. The supervisor plays innocent, saying he was worried they got attacked just like the instructor claimed. Yeonmyeong locks eyes with the instructor. Attacked, huh? Sarcastically. The teacher is practically vibrating with terror. Our protagonist smirks. Nah, the instructor just thought we were lost. Actually, thanks for marking the entrance for us. We found it instantly. Deep down, Yeonmyeong knows this guy is a puppet acting on orders from the Tang elders. But since it's just a hunch, he decides to play it cool. For now. However, he makes a silent vow. If he confirms the Jigal clan is in bed with the elders, he will wipe them off the map. The instructor laughs nervously, apologizes for the mistake, and says he needs to go fix the broken formation as soon as possible. He scrams immediately. The supervisor welcomes the squad, apologizing for the chaos and the lack of a proper escort. The instructor steps forward, introducing himself as Tang Wanjin, the drill sergeant tasked with whipping these recruits into shape. This guy isn't just a teacher. He's a veteran of the Bongui Brigade, the elite kill squad that served the Tang family's former heir. Every member of that unit is a walking army, literal top-tier warriors. Meanwhile, Mirio glances over and catches Yeonmyeong casually digging for gold up his nose. The disrespect is real. It grinds her gears, especially knowing his mother was the legendary previous heir, the Poison Phoenix herself. Yeonmyeong flicks a booger into the void and asks why a heavy hitter like Wonjin isn't guarding the main house. The supervisor's expression darkens. He explains they fought a do-or-die battle years ago to shield their master, the Poison Phoenix, facing off against the Heaven's brilliant demon lord, but they got crushed. And because they failed their one job, they wear the title of sinner. The students shiver at the heavy atmosphere, but the supervisor pushes on, laying down the law. Year 1 is a free-for-all. Self-study, train how you want, and earn secret martial arts manuals, or mentorship based on results. One kid pipes up asking about the Tang family's ultimate move, the 10,000 Heavenly Flower Rain. Rumor has it the technique vanished during that clash with the Demon Lord. Wonjin nods, but drops a bomb. The 10,000 Heavenly Flower Rain belongs to the winner, the next clan leader. It's fractured and incomplete, but the elders managed to salvage the core essence of the art. Hearing this, our MC's brain starts churning. He analyzes the concept of the 10,000 Heavenly Flower Rain. It's a skill that commands a deluge of hidden weapons like a rainstorm, basically telekinesis for blades, and he wonders if he can just replicate it himself. Enough talk, the supervisor barks, cutting the lore session short. Focus on the grind. Oh, and you can train in squads, or fly solo. Mirio asks about the sleeping arrangements, and Wonjin smirks. You sleep in the dirt. Survival 101. The kids look horrified. The supervisor mocks them, asking if they expected 5-star hotels and fluff, reminding them that luxury breeds weakness. Adapting to hellish conditions is step 1 of becoming a weapon. He raises a fist, signaling the start of their misery. The trio is literally shaking in their boots, except for our protagonist, who looks totally unbothered. Yeonmyeong interrupts. Quick question, can I live the good life and sleep in a real bed if I've got the skills to back it up? He argues that nutrition and rest are key for growing boys, and sleeping in the mud is just inefficient. The other kids clench their jaws, absolutely floored by his sheer audacity. The supervisor pauses, eyeing this kid who is the literal definition of arrogance. Even as the class fumes at the disrespect, Wonjin takes the bait. He offers a deal, pass a special test, and Yomyang gets the VIP suite inside the manor. But if he flops, he better be ready for the consequences. Yomyang accepts instantly. The test, simple. A squad will surround him and unleash a barrage of hidden weapons. Cut to the testing ground, our boy stands center stage. Surrounded by ambushers hiding in the trees on the cliffs and covering the ground, Wonjin explains the win condition. Blindfolded. If he can block or dodge everything within a 5-step radius, he clears the stage. Yomyang ties the cloth over his eyes. High above the cliff, sniper readies his blades. The tension spikes as every attacker locks in. The students whisper nervously, wondering if this is suicide. No one moves a muscle yet. Mirio guesses they're waiting, building the pressure to break his focus. Suddenly, bam, every assassin unloads on him from every angle simultaneously. Yomyang doesn't flinch, mentally tallying every single projectile. He thinks bit dramatic but easy enough. He draws his dagger and activates a technique called attachment. Like a magnet, he intercepts every incoming strike with his own blade. Attachment is high-level physics applied to combat, mastering depth, weight, velocity, and flow. The art of Ascension covers everything from breaking and scattering to sticky adhesion, cutting and precision. For Yomyang, a former sword saint who lived this stuff, in his past life, this is child's play. But for the uninitiated, it looks like magic. Our hero deflects every single piece of steel. Nothing touches him. Not a scratch. The blades don't even get within an inch of his skin. The crowd is stunned into silence, and the supervisor's brain effectively crashes. With one fluid motion, the entire barrage was repelled, captured, and completely neutralized. The students gasp, asking what kind of sorcery they just watched, unable to process that a single swing stopped an army. Yomyang rips off the blindfold. So did I pass? The students look at the supervisor, who is lost in the sauce until they yell to wake him up. Wonjin coughs, recovering his composure. Yeah, you passed. He grants permission to use the manor. As Yomyang casually flips his dagger and walks off, the supervisor realizes a monster has just entered the chat. Mirio, fuming with jealousy and annoyance, shouts after him. Hey, you really gonna ditch your team like that? Yeonmyoung plays it cool completely, ghosting her to bask in his own luxury. He stares ahead, grinning, and loudly wonders if the manor has a VIP menu. Talk about rubbing salt in the wound. The other students are fuming, watching him troll them effortlessly. Watching from the sidelines, the supervisor notes, the squad hasn't quit yet, which is cute, but deep down, he knows the war for clan leader is basically over before the opening bell. This kid, he's the main character energy they needed. Abruptly, our boy hits the brakes. He spins around, dropping a crucial demand on his instructor. Make sure every meal is loaded with meat. Gotta fuel those gains right. Cut to later, a hungry wolf pack swarms a bear carcass ready to feast. They dive in, tearing at the flesh. But the second those fangs pierce the meat, the feast turns into a nightmare. Violent coughing fits erupt. Blood sprays from their jaws. They hit the dirt, foaming at the mouth, totally paralyzed. Cue the entrance from the shadows. A student dashes in, delivering the mercy kill. With the wolf threat neutralized, the squad retreats to a cave to hunker down for the night. Yuri is vibing, thrilled that her homemade paralysis toxin hit the mark perfectly. Aejun nods along, impressed. If she keeps dropping performance stats like that, they'll survive this hell. Even Mirio has to give props. He hypes up her poison craft and admits her rainstorm technique is next level. But the mood tanks as the trio huddles around the campfire, looking miserable. Eyes glued to the roasting meat, Yuri does the math. It's been 4 long months already. She thinks back to day 1, pure panic, running for their lives, and straight up bumping into a bear. Back then, they couldn't catch a cold, let alone pray. They survived on roots and tears. Straight tragedy. But hey, look at them now, hunting, building, shelter, surviving. Suddenly, Aejun breaks the silence. He wonders if Yeonmyoung is living the high life right about now. Bad move. Dropping that name instantly triggers Mirio. He snaps, screaming at Aejun to keep that guy's name out of his mouth. Aejun shrugs, just curious, bro. Yuri chimes in with a vengeance vow. She swears Yeonmyoung's gonna get what's coming to him once they hit the manor. But inside, Aejun isn't so sure. He replays Yeonmyoung's past performance in his head. If that monster kept training this whole time, his power level must be off the charts. Suddenly, Mirio senses a disturbance. Where's the meat? They whip around to the fire, empty skewers. Gone. Yuri annihilated the entire stash. She lets out a massive, satisfied burp. Catching their murderous stares, she blinks. What's with the faces? She asks innocently. Mirio and Aejun absolutely lose it, screaming their lungs out at her audacity. Meanwhile, deep in the Gangdong Mountain 7-lock Phantom Dome stronghold, Yeonmyoung takes center stage on the training grounds. He's surrounded. Dozens of armed warriors lock onto him. Instructor Woojin drops the command and it's on. 2 fighters blitz him from the flanks. Yeonmyoung claps one with a lightning-fast kick, but the distraction creates an opening. The mob rushes in, weapons raised. But Yeonmyoung reads every pixel of their movement before the steel even gets close. Poof, gone. The warriors freeze heads, swiveling in panic until they look up. Yeonmyeong is hovering right above their heads. 10 fingers, 10 rings. He announces the beta test for his new move is live. Hands crossed, eyes glowing a toxic green. While they brace for impact, he rains all 10 rings down on them. The warriors stare at the scattered jewelry, totally confused. But the rings aren't just bling. They mutate mid-air into razor-sharp buzzsaws, striking before anyone can blink. Yeonmyeong commands the spin, and the rings erupt into a chaotic shredding vortex. Behold the whirling line frenzy dance. Woojin watches jaw on the floor, realizing what just happened. Yeonmyeong wiped the entire squad in a heartbeat. But get this, he micromanaged the AoE damage to just graze their skin. 0 fatalities, just scratches. Woojin walks up, inspecting a ring, and asks the million-dollar question, "Did you invent this?" Yeonmyeong nods. Whirling line frenzy dance. Woojin can't help but be impressed. Escaping that kill zone is physically impossible. Plus, the mana cost to keep those rings spinning. It should drain a massive amount of internal energy. It makes no sense. Yeonmyeong drops the explanation. Remember that eye technique manual he requested? Woojin nods, recalling the 2 options, piercing sky eyes and current flow eyes. He definitely recommended piercing sky because the other one was broken trash. But Yeonmyeong, he reveals he maxed out the current flow eyes instead. Woojin is stunned into silence. That technique, it's ancient Tang family magic, and this outsider just perfected it. Yeonmyeong explains the manual was missing its core, sure, but he realized it was actually a piece of a god-tier martial art. By activating current flow eyes, he visualizes the perfect flight path. This lets him guide the weapons with surgical precision while burning almost 0 energy. Woojin is officially done being surprised. The kid literally rewrote the manual through trial and error. He just sighs and changes the subject. Woojin drops the update in 2 months. The rest of the squad will touch down for the test. Fact is, they've already got the skills to pass, but they refuse to come back until they were absolutely flawless. Yeonmyeong cracks a smile. Now that's the kind of dedication he likes. He's genuinely hyped to see their glow up. Woojin watches him walk off, thinking, wait, is our guy actually worried about them? Meanwhile, Yeonmyeong gazes up at the sky, getting philosophical about fate. In his past life, he was a lone wolf, just him and the sword ghost. But this time around, the script has flipped. Despite his dark origins, real connections are forming. It feels strangely normal. And for the first time, his mind drifts to his teammates. He realizes he actually wants to see them. Back at the cave, it's total chaos. Mirio and Lee Jeon are roasting Yuri for wolfing down the entire meat stash. 2 months flash by, and the team is finally ready to roll. They march toward the stronghold, adrenaline spiking. Mirio thinks back to day 1 when they were total rookies. Now they've unlocked a completely different tier of power. Lee Jeon admits he's excited to see the boss again, while Yuri grumbles that she's going to split his skull open. From behind, the other trainees watch them pass, whispering, "Dude, those 3 are straight-up nightmares." The team storms the Gongdong Hall. Mirio screams at the top of her lungs, "Tang Yeonmyeong, get out here right now." Dead silence. Mirio scans the empty hall and laughs. Did he bail? Is he scared? Yuri clicks her tongue. Shame. I really wanted to smash his face in. Mirio spins around. You've been way too quiet. She freezes. Yeonmyeong is standing right there. Behind her. He rests a hand on her shoulder. Boo, he whispers. He leans in with that signature smirk. So, what exactly were you planning to do to my head, you cuties? The trio is paralyzed. He teases, were we talking about head smashing? Should I inspect your training results or do I attack first? Panic mode engaged. Mirio and Yuri scream in unison. We were joking. Mirio bites her lip, mind racing. We didn't even notice him until he was breathing down our necks. Is the skill gap still this massive? Even after months of survival training in the forest, suddenly our hero pulls Yuri into a bear hug. Mirio stares, analyzing him. What has he been up to? She notices he's taller now. His face looks different too, more mature. She feels a blush coming on but mentally slaps herself. Get it together, girl. Our boy breaks the tension. Don't get discouraged, he says. You guys got way stronger. You just look weak because I'm here. The trio glares at him. Yep, his annoying confidence is still bulletproof. Inside the hall, instructor Jagal Changshin calls the round table to order. Report. Any MVPs in your groups? One instructor brings up participant number 2. She's shown crazy growth, but it's not drive. It's pure hatred. She feeds on that rage. Another mentions participant number 10, who speedran the warrior test in a single month. Changshin nods internally. 2 and 10 are legit monsters. But compared to number 28, Yeonmyeong, they're nothing. He recalls the shock of watching our MC shatter the formation like glass. He pulled off moves that even the masters couldn't dream of. But recruiting number 28 is playing with fire. The kid is sharp, he knows something's up. So Changshin lies through his teeth. My group, no one special. He cuts 28 out of the conversation. We need a puppet we can control, he decides. Let's target number 2. He schemes to set her up with his nephew. I heard her face is disfigured. She'll be insecure, easy to manipulate. If we help this kid win and play the savior, we get her engaged to my nephew and the Jigal family officially locks in as the Tang family's external power. Eventually, we swallow the Tang family whole. Meeting adjourned. Walking out, Changshin can't shake it. Number 28 is too valuable to throw away. If he survives this competition, I'll twist him, feed his revenge, adopt him as my son. I'll offer him the throne of the Jegal young clan leader. Later inside the manor, Mirio is vibing. Training has doubled, but nothing beats a real bed. She turns to Yuri and asks if Yijeon and Yeonmyeong hit up the lab today. But let's be real. Yijeon didn't just walk in. He stormed in like a man on a mission. He is grinding his teeth, practically swearing a blood oath to end someone. Inside, Yijeon flashes a wicked smirk, holding up a mysterious vial and declaring that this is his masterpiece, a poison he poured his entire soul into creating. Suddenly, our main character snatches the bowl and downs the toxic sludge in one gulp. Yijeon instantly loses his mind, screaming at him for chugging a lethal dose like it was water. He calls our boy a total maniac and shakes Yeonmyeong so violently that our hero actually starts feeling dizzy. From the whiplash, not the poison. Foam bubbles at his lips, but then, plot twist, our boy lets out a massive burp right in Yijeon's face. Yijeon collapses to the floor, completely shell-shocked. Meanwhile, our protagonist feels absolutely fine. He wipes his mouth and smirks casually, asking if this batch was diluted or something. This reaction nearly pushes Yijeon to tears, as he shrieks that the brew was potent enough to melt internal organs and demands to know why our guy isn't dissolving into a puddle. Our hero just trolls him, suggesting Yijeon's mixing skills might be a bit rusty. Naturally, this sends the poison maker into a blind rage. He screams, demanding to know why death refuses to take our hero. Outside, Mirio and Yuri overhear the chaos, guessing the experiment was a total bust. Moments later, our boy is throwing back another bowl like he is at a frat party. Yijeon begs him to stop treating deadly venom like cheap booze, but our protagonist just asks for a refill, because literally nothing is happening to him. Yijeon slams his fist on the table, terrified that this guy might be immune to everything on Earth. But Yeonmyeong knows the truth as he wipes his lips. It's not immunity. It is his secret weapon, the Tang family's core technique, the poison refining madness. The logic is simple. If you want to be a poison master, you have to dominate the poison, not just survive it. Just as planned, every drop of venom entering his system is being converted into raw internal energy. Basically, within certain limits, deadly toxins are just XP potions for our boy. However, he knows he can only maintain this state with extreme focus. He realizes these low-tier poisons are barely boosting his stats anymore. He needs the heavy hitters. His mind shifts to the looming threats on the horizon. Yeonmyeong knows victory is not guaranteed if the Black Death Alliance or the Heaven's Brilliant Demon Lord decide to invade. He holds no personal beef with the Alliance, but since they carved up Sichuan City, he can't just ignore them. Their leader is hailed as a prodigy who wiped out 3 of the 9 factions. So, to survive as a human being, our boy needs to grind until he reclaims the god-tier strength of his past life. Beside him, an exhausted Yijeon mutters under his breath, wishing he could recreate the Tang family's legendary 10 poisons. Our hero snaps his head around, demanding he repeat that. Yijeon explains that the 10 poisons are the ultimate ancestral weapons of their clan. The rule is simple: the higher the number, the deadlier the juice. But most of the recipes were lost to history. He whispers that the 10th poison was so brokenly powerful, it even worked on masters of the transcendent level. Yeonmyeong is shook, realizing a poison capable of dropping transcendent masters is the ultimate power-up he needs. He immediately asks Yijeon to cook up the 10th poison, but Yijeon shoots him down, saying it is impossible since the formula is gone. Our guy feels a wave of disappointment, because Yijeon's current brew doesn't even give him a buzz anymore. This attitude ticks Yijeon off, and he warns that the 10th poison is forbidden for a reason, claiming even our main character would be deleted if he drank it. Meanwhile, under the cover of night, participant number 2 is grappling with a man choking her out. Suddenly, pitch-black fumes pour from the attacker's mouth as he gasps, asking what she did to him. He coughs, and literal fire erupts from his throat. She coldly asks him to say that again. She mocks his agony as flames burst from his eyes and mouth like a human volcano. He screams and lunges at her, but before he can land a hit, his hand crumbles away like dry stone. He hits the dirt and completely shatters into dust. She smirks, noting he was incinerated to ash in a split second. Then, she hypes up the power of the poison, gifted by her grandfather, revealing this is actually the Tang family's legendary 10th poison. She touches her scarred face, murmuring that the pain she felt that day is burned into her memory. She renews her vow to nurture this rage and agony. She flips her hair back, exposing her identity as Tang Yong Ryong. With a chilling smirk, she promises to make Yeonmyeong's life a living hell in the upcoming goo poison match. The next morning, Supervisor Tang Woo-jin rallies the squad. He mentions it has been a full year since they started explaining that everything up to now was just warming up their martial arts skills, but the real nightmare starts today. Specifically, he drops the bomb that they need to pick a team leader. The students look rattled, so Woojin clarifies that this is just a temporary captain. By the 3rd year, they will vote for a permanent leader to represent the squad in the goo poison match. Since this is a literal death match, only the absolute best should take the crown. Hearing this, Yuri points out not everyone survives to see the goo match, and Mirio realizes the stragglers are as good as dead. Yuri argues the choice should be based on pure stats and achievements. Without hesitation, she points to participant 28 Tang Yon Myung. Ijon instantly backs her up. The supervisor drops the bomb. Our boy is leading the pack. He scans the room for pushback, but the silence is deafening. Then, he summons number 28 front and center for the payout. He slides over a sleek chest housing a single pill, dropping the lore that it's the Heavenly Heart Pill, a legendary elixir crafted from century-old ginseng that boosts internal energy to god-tier levels. The squad is absolutely shook that Yoon Myung is bagging such premium loot. The supervisor clarifies it's a perk of being team leader, signaling the Tang family's massive expectations. But then, he throws a curveball. His personal expectations for Yoon Myung are even higher. Our protagonist just yawns and asks, "Is that it?" leaving Woojin looking totally confused. Then our boy asks to swap the elixir for something else, because he doesn't need it. Naturally, the rest of the crew instantly sees red. They start screaming, asking if he knows what that thing is worth, and demanding he hand it over. The supervisor tries to compute. Nobody refuses an elixir, unless they're already maxed out on energy. Intrigued, he asks what Yoon Myung actually wants. Our hero doesn't hesitate. "I want the Tang family's 10 poisons." Cut to later, the team is huddled in Yoon Myung's room staring at a mountain of weaponry. Mirio is losing it, asking if this junk is all he bought. "Where's the elixir?" she demands. Our boy just inspects a blade cool as ice, explaining he couldn't snag the poisons, so he settled for steel instead. Mirio throws a haymaker, but he weaves effortlessly, leaving her shouting and calling him a total idiot. Yuri plays peacemaker, saying they gotta respect his play, while Yijun notes the elder is probably thrilled to save the inventory. Actually, our protagonist interrupts. He hasn't returned the pill yet. Flashback to a few hours ago. The supervisor hands over the arsenal, double-checking if he's sure. Our hero admits he's bummed about missing the poison, but this gear will work. When asked if that's all, our boy gets crafty. "So what's the plan for that returned pill?" Supervisor says it goes back to the vault, but our hero pitches a gamble. If the squad teams up and manages to take down the temporary leader, they keep the pill. The supervisor grins. That's some serious motivation. Deal. Back in the present, our boy finishes the story, then drops the mic. "Challenge me anytime before the goo poison match." Zero hesitation, the crew sprints for their gear, screaming that Tang Yoon Myung is toast. Watching them scramble, our protagonist locks in. No holding back. He decides right then, when he becomes the young clan leader. He's securing a heavenly heart pill for everyone. But first, he steps outside to establish the pecking order. Seasons blur by, and the team levels up hard. Mid-spar, our boy smacks Yijun across the yard and asks the score. "How many losses is that?" Yijun groans. "About 173. Mirio watches stunned. "Does he ever run out of gas?" Yuri laughs, admitting she retired from fighting ages ago just to be a fan in the front row. Mirio turns bright red, but agrees he's mesmerizing to watch. Finally, our boy reaches down. Since Yijun has finally accepted the L, our boy is officially taking the throne. Yijun grabs his hand. "I can't picture you losing to anyone else," he admits. Enter the supervisor, clapping for their insane progress, formally crowning participant number 28 as the team leader. But the celebration is short. The real goo poison match kicks off tomorrow. He notes that other squads are already dealing with body bags and disqualifications. But compared to that carnage, Group 7 is untouched and pushing power levels capable of rivaling the Bangui Brigade. He gives one final warning. Inside the goo poison match, the gloves come off. Extreme poisons are green lit, except for the 10 poisons. Therefore, use everything you've got. The next day, Ijun slides a box of lethal toxins to our protagonist. He breaks it down. One drop of the elixir-suppressed fairy poison is instant death. Then he details the nasty effects of the ocular poison. He catches himself spiraling and stops. "Just promise me you'll win." Yijun holds out a fist. Our hero grabs it tight, says, "You got it," and playfully punches him in the face. "Only you guys are strong enough to hurt me," he grins before teleporting down to the arena. "I'm out." Meanwhile, Tang Young Ryong clutches a vial of venom. "It's finally time," she whispers. She feels lucky, armed with the 10 poisons and a fresh ally. She steps through a portal, finding instructor Jagal Chung-shin waiting in the shadows. "How is your family actually going to help?" she asks. The instructor smirks. "The arena, it's built on his family's formation, so teleporting her to the perfect vantage point is child's play." Ryong narrows her eyes. "What's the price?" The instructor sighs. His family has lost its teeth and needs an alliance with the Tang family to survive without kneeling. Ryung connects the dots. He wants to use her as a political shield, to meddle in clan affairs. And if I say no, she challenges. The instructor's expression doesn't change. That's why we build trust now. The deal is struck, and a sinister smile spreads across Ryung's face. 3 years of hell for this one moment. She vows to slaughter Yoon Myung and reclaim her life no matter the cost. Elsewhere, Tang-guk Rin, from Team 3, stands drenched in blood, gripping a sword. He looks totally unimpressed, scoffing at the carnage behind him, complaining that the Tang family's military might was nothing but talk. The warriors who tried to check him, they're painting the ground red. Finally, our main man touches down at the target zone. Scanning the horizon, he thinks, what a beautiful day for a deathmatch. And just like that, the goo poison ritual kicks off. Perched on the cliff edge, our boy surveys the massive battlefield below. It is an absolute beast of an arena. So he realizes hunting down opponents in this wasteland is going to take a minute. Meanwhile, miles away, Instructor Jagal Chang Shin is spying on our protagonist through a magical feed, locked in. Just as predicted, number 28 from Group 7 has entered the chat. He hates seeing such raw potential go to waste, but the Jegal clan calls the shots. The order delete him immediately, before things get messy. But suddenly Chang Shin freezes. The kid is looking right at him, through the magical scrying lens. This shouldn't be possible. His view is buried behind layers of arcane cloaking. Zero hesitation. Our boy whips out his blade and slashes at the empty air. And snap, he severs the magical tether instantly. He felt that nasty stare crawling on him and knew exactly who it was, the Jagal family. Supervisor Wu Jin explicitly stated no interference, but clearly that was a lie. They have been rigging the game from the jump. Fine. If they want to play dirty, he decides to let them bring it on. He dives off the cliff, filing that away for an interrogation later. Back in the control room, Chang Shin is gasping for air. He is shaking with fear. He was shielded by multiple defensive arrays, yet the kid clocked him instantly. He realizes if he hadn't cut the feed right then, he would be permanently blind right now. Furthermore, he saw the blade slice through the actual fabric of the spell. He admits it. He has never seen swordsmanship on that level. Ever. Chang Shin realizes this is a huge miscalculation. Number 28 is way out of their league. His eyes glow crimson with panic, as he decides they have to put this kid down no matter the cost, or the revenge is going to be brutal. Meanwhile, cut to the forest, a girl is sprinting for her life, bleeding out. She doesn't want to die, and she is regretting every decision that led her here. She just wanted a payout to save her poor parents. Screw the win, she is ready to tap out and quit right now. Bam! She slams right into a nightmare. Tang-guk Rin, drenched in blood, standing atop a mountain of corpses. He looks her dead in the eye. Great timing for a little meetup. Terrified, the girl tries to bolt, screaming that she is quitting, but Tang-guk Rin teleports behind her like a ghost. She begs willing to surrender to anyone and leave the Tang clan forever. But Tang-guk Rin just laughs in her face. What was that trash talk about me becoming leader? He tears her apart verbally. She talked a big game but folded instantly. He roasts her sloppy footwork and calls her internal energy pathetic. She screams back, desperate. Why are you doing this? We are literally family. In response, Tang-guk Rin smirks, resting his cold steel on her shoulder. The guy couldn't care less about hurting her feelings. Not to mention, family, I never considered myself a Sichuan Tang. One effortless swing and her head rolls. Meanwhile, our MC is tearing across the terrain. He spots a cave bingo. Exactly what he needs. Since 0 human signatures nearby means 0 interruptions, he ducks inside the cave, confirming his senses are clear. It is time to speedrun his ascension to the transcendence level. Deep in the darkness, he takes a seat. His body is stronger now. He figures he can handle the strain without side effects. He starts cycling his chi, fusing his enlightenment with the toxic power he absorbed from drinking. 1,000 poisons. Boom. His aura detonates. He smashes through the blockage in his meridians like it is made of glass, and his internal power goes nuclear. Usually this process is agonizing, snapping bones and tearing joints to literally rebuild the body. A total physical rebirth. But for our guy, this is his second rodeo, so it is a walk in the park. His eyes flash an eerie green as his frame vibrates with raw power. And just like that, it is done. Wiping the sweat from his face, he assesses the situation. Purging the toxins was definitely the move. Ugh, smells like trash. He gripes about the filth, but his body feels godlike. Our boy steps back out of the cave and stands at the cliff's edge. Time for a diagnostics check. He raises a hand, pointing 2 fingers at the rock face. Crack. An invisible shockwave obliterates the cave behind him. Our protagonist smirks, thinking, not bad efficiency, and decides it is time to get to work. Elsewhere, Tang-guk Rin is leaning against a tree, with his dripping sword. Man, this is a snooze fest, he complains, looking down at the heap of misery at his feet, asking what they have even been doing for 3 years. On the ground, Jong-gil is absolutely wrecked, gritting his teeth. He curses his rotten luck. The rumors were true. Tang-guk Rin is the monster orphan raised by the Grand Elder himself. This dude's strength is absolute nightmare fuel. Jang Gil figured a sucker punch might save his skin, but nope, he couldn't even graze the guy's collar. Death isn't just knocking, it's kicking down the door. But then a weird thought hits him. Tang Yun Myung, realizing he didn't run into that monster, actually brings him peace. He starts cackling like a maniac. Tang Yok-rin is shook, demanding to know what's so funny, while Jang Gil just exhales, chilling out. He drops the bomb. Just remembered someone way more terrifying than you. Ouch. Tang Yok-rin's ego takes a massive hit. Furious, he vows to crank up the horror factor. Since Jang Gil is dead meat anyway, why not drop a little classified intel? Mask off moment. He's a mole from the Black Death Alliance, specifically the Great Darkness Silent Sword sect. Real name, Ma In-guk. He raises his blade to execute Jang Gil, but glitch. Ma freezes mid-swing. His nervous system goes haywire. He's paralyzed, panic setting in. Then from the shadows, our boy steps onto the stage. He sensed a disturbance and decided to crash the party. He glances down at the battered guy. Well, look who it is. He casually asks Jang Gil if he's recovered from the beatdown they shared last time. Jang Gil's brain is buffering. Who smash cut to a flashback, a scrawny kid standing before an old master. The kid asks, "You want me to infiltrate the Sichuan Tang family?" The elder nods. Game on. With that level of talent, the kid just needs to play the orphan card for a few days. Someone will bite. The elder explains the Tang family is about to kick off the young clan leader competition, a perfect recipe for internal chaos. Survive, succeed, and return home a legend. Snap back to reality. Ma is face planted in the dirt, absolutely wrecked. He bites his lip as his insides feel like they're being dissolved by acid. What kind of sorcery was that? Our MC strolls over to Jang Gil, who's squinting at him. Wait, Yeon Myung, for real. Do I need to face plant you into the dirt again to jog your memory? Jang Gil flinches. Yep, definitely him. Yeon Myung points a thumb at the paralyzed guy. So did he spill the beans? Is he a mole? Yes, Jang Gil screams. Our hero nods, so this was the creep tailing him before he entered the mountain. Mystery solved. He plucks a poison needle from Tang Yok-rin's neck like it's a stray hair. Jang Gil's jaw drops. You poisoned the needle. He's mind blown. One tiny prick took down a beast like that. Jang Gil suggests they detox the spy and squeeze him for intel. Hard pass. Our boy shakes his head. If this guy's rolling with a crew like the Black Death Alliance, his agenda is obvious. Why waste the antidote? Jang Gil stares at him, realizing the vibe has shifted. You've changed, man. Nothing rattles him anymore. Suddenly, Jang Gil bows deep. No ego, just sincerity. He apologizes for the past beef. Our MC cracks a smile. Water under the bridge. I don't live in the past. Watch out, Jang Gil screams. Behind Yeon Myung, the spy launches a desperate suicide attack. Screaming he's taking them to hell with him, Tang Yok-rin strikes but hits nothing but air. Our boy is gone. He teleports right behind the spy. I usually let nature take its course, he whispers, but you just had to try it. Guess I'll just delete you from existence. He rests a heavy hand on the spy's shoulder. Clean up is easier without a body, right? Tears well up in Tang Yok-rin's eyes. This kid is a demon. Boom, collapses. Dead. Jang Gil watches brain melting. That spy was a top-tier fighter, wielding the Great Darkness, silent sword technique, and our hero swatted him like a fly. Yeon Myung turns to Jang Gil. Just us two now. What's the play? Jang Gil raises his hands. I surrender, but I'm lost in here. Our boy swipes his dagger, literally cutting a hole in the magical formation. Get out of here. Don't look back. Jang Gil thanks him for the mercy. Poof. Gone. Jang Gil smiles, whispering, good luck. Meanwhile, at the Dark Moon Sword Sect HQ, an elder stares at a shattered spiritual bead. Panic mode engaged. He knows exactly what this means. The life link to his youngest son is severed. His boy is dead, born a servant but a prodigy above all others. He sent him undercover to the Tang family to hide him from a jealous wife. Now he clenches his fists until they bleed. I failed him as a father. Pure vengeance takes over. He barks orders to the troops. Mobilize everyone to Gongdong Mountain. The Tang family falls today. If their last name is Tang, they don't leave alive. Back on the mountain, night falls. Our MC chows down by a campfire, but the vibes are off. He's been sprinting day and night, so where is everyone? It hits him. The math doesn't add up unless someone rigged the game, deliberately steering the competition away from his location. He figures the last survivor is in bed with the Jegal clan. He actually laughs at their audacity, trying a hostile takeover of the Tang family right under everyone's noses. The MC lays back, gazing up at the moon. For a split second, he just appreciates how gorgeous the night sky is. He wishes his mom could see this view, wondering if she's doing okay before drifting off. But peace never lasts long. Tang Yung-ryong is lurking in the shadows. She spots him snoozing and smirks. Finally, she's hunted someone down. Remembering her specific request to handle the final survivor, she locks eyes on our protagonist. She admits he's got looks, maybe Instructor Jegal's nephew. It's almost a shame that pretty face is about to get wrecked. But business is business. She pops an antidote pill and uncorks a vial, unleashing a cloud of toxic smoke. As the poisonous incense wraps around him, she coats her blade in lethal venom, whispering for the sleeping boy not to hold a grudge. She raises the dagger for the kill shot, but our hero's voice cuts through the silence. He asks if she's really ready for the consequences. Before she can twitch, his hand clamps around her throat. Ryong gags as he hoists her off the ground, and he instantly accuses her of being the Jegal family's mole. He calls her out for camping in a safe zone while everyone else was out there fighting for their lives. He demands the details of her dirty deal. Ryong grits her teeth, totally shook that he sensed her presence the entire time. Our MC warns her to start talking if she enjoys breathing. Tang-young Ryong is kicking herself for panic dropping her blade. Realizing it's way out of reach now, our boy studies her face, and it clicks, he knows exactly who she is. It's Tang-young Ryong. She's frozen, wondering how this stranger knows her name. But honestly, after the headaches she gave him in the past, how could he ever forget? He coldly asks if he should mess up her face for real this time. Meanwhile, back in the control room, Instructor Jegal Chang-shin is losing it. He knows his master plan has gone completely off the rails. Number 28 smashed through the formation, blinding the surveillance. Chang-shin notes that number 10 was wiping the floor with everyone, but number 28 deleted him in a heartbeat. Now Chang-shin realizes the grim reality. If number 2 Ryong tries to fight 28, she's toast. And if 28 takes the win, the Jegal family's agenda is history. Suddenly, a massive energy spike breaches the formation. He zooms in and spots a full-blown army from the Dark Moon Sword Sect. Their leader, Young Yun-sung, is chatting with Mok In-hoo, acknowledging they mobilized over 300 troops, elites included. He questions if bringing the full might of the sect against some Tang family rookies is overkill. But Mok In-hoo insists it's necessary since Gangdong Mountain is practically in their backyard. They need to wipe the Tang family off the map. He argues that bringing anything less would guarantee defeat. Yun-sung nods, but asks about their mole. Mok In-hoo looks annoyed, admitting the spy botched the job, which hurts since he actually liked that guy. Cutting the small talk, he orders the squad to move out. Chang-shin is watching this entire invasion unfold through the magical array, wondering why a sect leader is personally here. He figures there was a leak and considers flagging the Bongwi Brigade for backup, but he hesitates and a twisted grin creeps onto his face. He realizes a golden opportunity. If he lets these invaders slaughter number 28, his failed scheme stays buried, and the Tang family remains clueless about the Jegal family's betrayal. So he decides to roll out the red carpet for the invaders. Back in the woods, our protagonist still has Ryong in a chokehold. She's seething, finally recognizing him as Myung, and cursing herself for being so blind. While she scrambles for a hidden weapon, our boy eyes her discarded knife. He asks about the weird red substance coating the blade, noting he's never seen a poison that vibrant before. Ryong thinks his guard is down and whips a vial from behind her back, aiming to smash it in his face. But our hero snatches her wrist mid-air. He sighs, scolding her for trying cheap tricks instead of answering his questions, then confiscates the bottle, asking if this is the same toxic juice she put on the knife. When Ryong stays silent, our boy slams her into the dirt and grips her jaw. He asks if she wants a replay of their past encounters, making Ryong scream for release. Our boy orders her to open up, but she refuses, shouting that she hates this and promising to spill the beans. Ignoring her pleas, our protagonist inches the bottle toward her lips, suggesting she should taste test it to identify the poison properly. She screams in pure terror and cracks. She confesses it's the fire dragon poison, one of the Tang family's legendary 10 poisons. Our boy freezes. He knows the 10 poisons aren't something you play around with. He's actually hyped it's the real deal to him. This isn't death, it's a super elixir. Wasting it on her would be a tragedy. Ryong begs for mercy now that she's talked, offering to surrender or even team up against the other competitors. Our protagonist ignores her plea, his grip turning into a vice on her jaw. "I'm not hearing the whole story," he growls, tightening the hold. He leans in, eyes cold. "Are you in bed with the Jegal family? What's the payoff?" He holds the vial to her lips. "Hesitate again, and you drink every last drop." Ryong cracks instantly. She spits out the truth. It was a marriage alliance, a political power play. The Jegal clan is trying to absorb the Tang family to lock down their loyalty. It clicks. Our boy sees the big picture now. They're securing their dominance by marrying off the future clan leader. He eyes Ryong, figuring she jumped at the chance to be the queen bee. Then he does the unthinkable. He tips the vial and downs the poison like a shot of tequila. Ryong screams, "Have you lost your mind?" "Relax," he smirks, wiping his mouth. "I'm not wasting the good stuff on you." Ryong freezes, pure terror in her eyes. Even an iron body can't tank the 10 poisons. She stares at him, waiting for him to spontaneously combust. But the guy just lets out a satisfied burp. Notes of strawberry. Suddenly, whoosh, he erupts into a human torch. Ryong watches mesmerized, but his grip on her face doesn't slip an inch. Then, just as fast as it started, the flames vanish. He's totally fine. "Okay, that got a little spicy," he quips. Ryong looks like she's seen a ghost trembling on the verge of tears. Her brain short circuits. This shouldn't be possible unless he's hit the legendary poisoner tier, total immunity, the level where a single exhale brings death. She remembers her grandpa whispering about this realm. Are you a poisoner? She stammers. His fingers clamp down harder. He's ticked off. She really came at him with lethal intent earlier, and he hasn't forgotten. After tossing her aside, he inspects his hand. The flames linger. The chaotic energy from the poison refining madness feels different. Digesting that fire dragon poison balanced him out. He's mastered both yin and yang energies now. He glances at Ryong. Thanks for the snack. Got a nice upgrade out of that. Suddenly, his head snaps up. A blinding pillar of light tears through the night sky. It's bright as high noon. The wind picks up, howling like a hurricane. He frowns. This wasn't part of the script. This isn't the match ending. His senses flare intruders. Dozens. No, over 300 distinct signatures closing in. Something is definitely wrong. A mob that size, the Jekyll family absolutely would have flagged them on the radar, which means they let the wolves in on purpose to slaughter the students. Our protagonist fingers his poison needles, a cold smirk playing on his lips. Live target practice coming to me, must be my lucky day. He straightens up. In this goo poison game, I'm the only predator leaving alive. Meanwhile, an instructor rushes to the supervisor with the news. The boss loses it. Intruders. Repeat that, he roars. Kang Shin nods grimly, confirming there was a mole in the operation. So Wanjin is sweating bullets. Who are they? Have we identified the hostiles? Give me numbers. Kang Shin plays dumb, but drops the bomb. Looks like over 300 elites, led by the Dark Moon sect leader himself. So Wanjin turns pale. The Dark Moon sect. How did they locate this black site? The Phantom Dome should have masked them. We need to intercept now, he yells. Kang Shin feigns shock. I never saw this coming. Sir Kang Shin adds, twisting the knife. They've already breached the inner dimension. They're right in the middle of the goo poison arena. Then he reminds the boss of the fatal flaw. We locked that place down ourselves. Even we can't get in now. The system is sealed tight. We can't help them. The students are trapped inside with an army of killers. They have to survive on their own. Cut to our boy standing like a god of death amidst a sea of corpses. Flashback to minutes earlier. Ma Qin looms over a lifeless body, Tang Gukrin. He scoffs. Pathetic. My youngest couldn't even die a warrior's death, taken out by poison. Beside him, Yun Song confirms they've breached the zone. He inspects the corpse, needle punctures, and 0 defense wounds. This was an execution. Ma Qin barks at his squad, fan out. Hunt down every last rat from the Tang family. When you find them, radio it in instantly. Leave no survivors. As a squad moves out, a young disciple whispers to his mentor. Master, the boss seems rattled. Usually he's all bloodlust and glory. The master eyes the dead body they just passed. That corpse, the master mutters. I think that was the boss's inside man, dropped by a single needle to the neck. It doesn't make sense. Unless that needle was coated in something that kills on contact. He turns to the kid. Listen to me. The Tang family doesn't duel. They snuff out life. Skill doesn't matter against poison. Watch for shadows. Watch for understood moss. Thwack. A needle buries itself in the kid's throat. He hits the dirt, dead, before he lands. The master freezes, head swiveling. Where? Ambush blades out, he screams, rallying the troops. He scans the trees. Show yourself, coward. Face us. Stay sharp, don't let them. Suddenly, a grunt points a shaking finger skyward. Master up there. Steel rain falls from the heavens. Thousands of needles saturate the battlefield. The soldiers can't block, they're getting shredded. Our boy stands dead center in the mayhem, grinning like a wolf. The single palm blazing poison technique. It's basically a cheat code against these foot soldier NPCs. He flicks his wrist, activating the steam technique. Like a magnet, every single poison needle zips right back to his hand. Minimal mana cost. Maximum efficiency. He scans the pile of fresh corpses and decides to hunt down the eastern squad next. Cut to the enemy base. A scout rushes to Ma Qinhu. The boss demands, is the squad wiped out? The scout nods, trembling. Confirmed. No slash wounds, sir. Just tiny needle pricks. That means instant death by high-grade poison. Same M.O. as the first victim. Suddenly, the western lookout bursts in, hyperventilating. The western unit, deleted. Then the eastern report hits. 0 survivors. Ma Qinhu realizes his army is evaporating. Yan Song checks the time. It's been barely an hour. 100 men gone. Same method. Maybe it's a solo act, Yan Song suggests. Ma Qinhu shudders. An army invasion he could handle. But a Tang family master, they are the ones being hunted now. He barks orders at Yan Song. You take command. I'll prep the ambush personally. Yan Song hesitates. You sure about that, boss? Ma Qinhu snaps. We can't bleed any more manpower. Go. Yan Song leads the survivors across the river, unnerved by the dead silence. No birds, no wind. The sun is dipping, darkness is coming. If they don't spot the killer before nightfall, they're toast. Yan Song makes the call. Tactical retreat. We need to regroup before this gets worse. We move out in 1 hour. A cold voice cuts through the air. Who authorized that? Up in the branches, our protagonist is chilling. I didn't say you could leave. Yan Song grits his teeth. He didn't sense a thing. When did the kid get there? Before he can even blink. Thud, thud, thud. His entire squad drops behind him. Needles in vital points. They were dead before they hit the dirt. Our boy hops down, strolling over like he owns the place. Yan Song stares. This kid, this teenager, is the Reaper. How does a brat have Grandmaster-level skills? Then he watches the needles float back to our hero's hand, and his blood runs cold. Void absorption. That is legendary tier stuff. Only the elites use that. But wait, he is recalling them instead of double tapping. Yan Song's brain starts working. He's running low on juice. That move drains internal energy. He sneers. Cocky brat. You blew your element of surprise. Yan Song smirks. Never heard of a Tang prodigy looking like you. Our boy casually pockets the steel needles. Doesn't matter if you know me. You are expiring today anyway. And dead men don't need introductions. That triggers him. Yan Song snaps. Veins bulge like snakes. You have a death wish, he roars, channeling energy. Clothes rip apart as his muscles expand. Hulk mode engaged. With a primal scream, he launches a haymaker designed to paste our boy into the cliffside. Bam! Our MC catches the fist with one palm. Dead stop. Yan Song freezes. That was his max output. Blocked. Our guy smirks. That wasn't everything, was it? He steps back. Go ahead. I'll wait. Charge it up to the real maximum. Flashback time. Yan Song was once part of the Spearpoint sect, one of the Big Nine. When the Black Death Alliance crushed them, Yan Song switched sides instantly. He remembers meeting the big boss. His signature move, the peak-shaking staff, got a remix. The leader laughed at the name. Too weak. Dubbed it the Heavenly Quick Palm. But now, some random kid is tanking it. Back to reality. Our protagonist swats Yan Song's fist aside like a fly. The impacts ring out, but Yan Song is sweating, rattled by how bored the kid looks. Inside, our hero analyzes the flow, the fire dragon venom coursing through him. It holds the literal breath of a beast. Channeling it with venomous aura mimics sword force. Sword force slices, venom force permeates. It soaks into the bone. Snap. Eyes open. Glowing crimson like a dragon. Yan Song feels the pressure spike. He can't hold it back. What is this yang energy? Our hero unleashes the burning glaze technique. The temperature skyrockets. Flash fry. Yan Song turns into a charcoal statue instantly and crumbles to dust. Our boy muses venom plus heat. Let's call it fiery demon force. He looks at the trembling minions. Okay, who is next on the barbecue? The grunts are shaking. Their tank just got one-shotted. Our protagonist sighs. I'm not letting any of you walk away, so do me a favor and die quick. Suddenly, Mak Inho, the head honcho of the Dark Moon sect, stomps onto the scene with pure venom in his eyes. He rips his blade out, screaming bloody murder and blaming our main character for icing his youngest kid. Yeah, that spy rat. He swears on his life that he won't leave even a speck of ash behind. Inho barks orders, commanding his squad to fan out instantly and trigger the lethal Sharoon formation. Like clockwork, the mob swarms Myung, locking him down from every single angle. The goons are shouting warnings to watch for poison and cheap shots while Maki Inho is spiraling deep into his own head. The grief of losing his son and a mountain of disciples is eating him alive. He decides right then and there, our guy has to go permanently, just to make sure those deaths actually meant something. Meanwhile, our boy scans the perimeter, getting major flashback vibes to his old training arc. Back in the day, he'd spam the whirling chaos dance, but today, he's feeling experimental. In a blink, our protagonist's silhouette starts glitching out of reality. He vanished, one thug screams, warning the squad to stay frosty, but they can't track his speed at all. Our MC is a phantom weaving through the crowd and deleting them one by one. Ma Kin-hoo is just standing there, brain lagging. He's shook. He completely lost visual on the kid. Who is this guy really? Yeonmyeong flickers back into view. A bandit roars in fury, lunging to avenge his fallen bros. Our boy just lazily raises a hand. Mind if I borrow these? Destruction principle engaged. Snap. He shatters their steel like it's cheap glass. No contact, just pure energy. The goon is trembling, calling him a literal monster. Our protagonist dusted their weapons without lifting a finger. Now, he flips the switch to the dispersal principle. He takes those jagged metal scraps and grips the air. Suddenly, the shards start floating, locked in a deadly spin. A literal tornado of razor-sharp steel forms. The enemy turns pale, terrified. It's the legendary Tang family's secret art. The 10,000 heavenly flower, rain impossible, he shrieks. Too late, the metal storm shreds them. It's a massacre, absolute gore. But our boy thinks to himself, not quite the real deal. Doesn't match the true 10,000 heavenly flower rain, but it's enough for these NPCs. He dubs it. The iron shard volley. Bodies drop like flies. Thud, thud, silence. Our MC locks eyes with Mok In-hoo. Done hiding behind your lackeys to drain my stamina. Your turn, old man. Mach snaps. He draws dual blades, veins popping. Don't get cocky, brat. He starts flexing his loadout, the Tai Yi twin sword and the silent sword, gifted by the alliance leader himself. I'll grind you to dust, Yeonmyeong smirks. So you have a death wish. Mach charges in, screaming that he'll crush him. Our boy just holds up a tiny fruit knife. Mach unleashes the full combo, Tai Yi twin sword, silent sword 10 strike, Asura sword dance. But to our protagonist, the guy is moving in slow motion. He literally yawns out of boredom. This triggers Mach, who spams the silent sword strike again. Whiff. Not a single scratch. Mach is gasping for air, leaning on his sword just to stay upright. He can't process losing to a pocket knife. Our boy cuts in, I know a thing or two about swordsmanship. I read your flow instantly. Then the ultimate roast. Is the technique supposed to look like that? Suddenly ominous black smoke erupts from the hero's tiny blade. Mach freezes. How? How do you know the silent sword? Yeonmyeong breaks it down for him. This art reeks of murder. It was built for killing. Manipulating that kind of energy, child's play. Mach's brain short circuits. He spent a lifetime mastering this little trick. And this kid just mimics the ultimate twin sword art casually. It doesn't make sense. Speaking of which, our boy has a flashback. The guy I flatlined a few hours ago used this too. So you rep the Dark Moon Sword Sect MC shrugs. Not that I know much about him, but they answer to the Black Death Alliance. Everyone knows their dirty secret. They twist martial arts to fit the user. That's why sellouts ditch their past lives to join up. Mach growls. What's your point? Our hero sighs. I'm just disappointed. This technique is basic. Anyone with enough bloodlust can copy-paste it. Then he goes for the jugular. If your leaders gave you this trash martial art, they must think you're a joke. Mach screams curses, but our boy ignores the noise. You tried your best. Now watch a real master. Warning, do not blink. Green aura explodes from Yeonmyeong. When you reach the transcendental level, he lectures blade length doesn't matter. The tiny knife erupts into a massive lightsaber of green energy. Mach is paralyzed with fear. Technique Blade River. He swings. The energy discharge is nuclear. It cleaves the forest, splits the mountain, and leaves a massive crater scarred into the earth. Damage is nerfed, our MC mutters. My body's still recovering. Mach's jaw hits the floor. That wasn't a sword technique. That was a natural disaster. He realizes the truth. This kid is handling pure blade aura like a toy. He's at the final stage. Suddenly the MC speaks. Voice dripping with menace. Does it matter? Terrified, Mach turns and runs for his life. Myung is officially fed up with this old geezer. He mocks Mach In-hoo, asking if he seriously thinks a little cardio is going to save his life. One slip-up means instant death. Myung readies his blade for the final strike but suddenly freezes mid-swing. He realizes that, as Tang clan royalty, he shouldn't just hack away. He needs to execute this traitor with signature Tang style. Slipping a hand into his robes, he reveals his lethal rings. Mach In-hoo is sprinting through the forest in a total panic, refusing to believe this is happening. He can't process how a crumbling clan produced a monster like this. Suddenly, the rings scream through the air from behind. They slice through timber and obstacles like hot knives through butter. In-hoo tries to parry, but the sheer velocity terrifies him. Running is a death sentence. He has to stand his ground. He frantically dodges and weaves, but the rings shatter his steel blade and tear into his flesh. His arm gets slashed open. Mach In-hoo stands there bleeding out but still stubborn, screaming, asking if the kid is satisfied yet. As long as he's breathing, he can plot his revenge, assuming Myung burned all his stamina on that last move. But then Myung steps out from the shadows, cool as ice. Want a participation trophy? Myung asks sarcastically. In-hoo is shook. The kid isn't even winded. With a casual finger snap, Myung summons every single ring. They hover ominously, locking onto Mach In-hoo, leaving the old man gritting his teeth in horror. Who is this demon? He bitterly regrets betraying everything for the Black Death Alliance, only to get stomped by a rookie he couldn't even scratch. The rings descend, and Mach In-hoo is absolutely annihilated. The metal snaps back to Myung's finger, target neutralized. Plus, he's hyped that he leveled up his skills by testing out new combos. Figuring this technique will be perfect for his clan once he takes the throne, he decides to bounce. But the list isn't finished. He still has to deal with the toxic elder who tormented his mom and the scheming Jagal family. Eye for an eye, he's going to burn it all down. Without hesitation, he slashes through the formation barrier. Meanwhile, outside the arena, Supervisor Wang Jin is losing his mind, demanding to know why they can't breach the seal. Instructor Chung Shin plays innocent, apologizing and claiming the intervention is impossible. He acts like this whole disaster is a surprise, and the team is freaking out. But deep down, Chung Shin is plotting. With the entrance sealed, nobody leaves alive. He knows the Dark Moon Sword Sect planted 300 killers inside. Even number 28 stands zero chance of survival. Chung Shin thinks it's a shame to waste talent, but he can't let some kid ruin the master plan. He shrugs it off, telling himself the other candidates are the real future of the clan anyway. Suddenly, the sky above the arena fractures. Crack. Reality breaks as Myung slices through the barrier and steps out like a boss. The squad goes wild. They knew he wasn't done yet. Yuri sprints over and practically tackles him with a hug, checking him for injuries. Myung grins, joking that she's the only one doing any damage right now. In the background, Chang Xin freezes. Instructor Jagal Chang Xin is terrified. In his mind, there is no mathematical way 300 soldiers lost to one teenager. From the sidelines, Myung catches the fear in Chang Xin's eyes before the instructor masks it. Jonggil waves at our hero, and Myung flashes a smile. Chang Xin is reeling, remembering how the kid shattered the 7-lock Phantom Dome earlier, and now he just shredded a combat formation, like it was tissue paper. The guy is a legitimate monster. Normally even a master martial artist would be dead meat. Myung locks eyes with Chang Xin. He could end the instructor right here and now, but he plays the long game, waiting until he's clan head. Wang Jin sighs with relief, glad the kid is safe. Myung bows, playing the polite student card. But internally, he's already planning the elder's demise. Wang Jin asks what went down inside and where everyone else is. Suddenly, the ground begins to tremble. Everyone braces for an earthquake, but a warrior points up. The sky rips open, bleeding pure light. Chang Xin starts sweating bullets, realizing the containment unit is collapsing. The barrier completely shatters, and the debris clears to reveal a graveyard. The arena floor is carpeted with hundreds of bodies. Wang Jin scans the uniforms, realizing that while some are randoms, the majority belong to the Dark Moon Sword sect. He asks if Myung seriously soloed an entire army, admitting that even he would struggle against 30 of them. Suddenly, a scream pierces the air. A warrior points to a specific corpse, identifying the double sword sheath. It's Mok In-hu, the sect leader himself. Wang Jin stares at the severed remains, realizing even a sect leader was nothing but a warm-up for Yun Myung. Our boy strolls over calmly and shrugs. It was just a little crowded, that's all. So taking them down, barely an inconvenience. Wang Jin knew the Tang bloodline was strong, but this kid, Yun Myung, isn't just head material. He's operating on a whole different god-tier frequency. Meanwhile, the spectators are losing their absolute minds. They can't process that Yun Myung just soloed over 100 enemies, wiping out the infamous Dark Moon Sword sect like they were NPCs. It is undeniable now that throne belongs to him. But in the shadows, Moon Chan is seething, practically grinding his molars into dust with pure jealousy. The bitterness is eating him alive. He feels like total dead weight with that busted arm, forced to watch the guy he despises take the spotlight. It drives him crazy. Yun Myung used to be total garbage, a martial arts dropout, and now he is flexing like a god. The audacity of this guy to level up hurts Moonchan's pride more than any injury. Wang Jin snaps everyone back to reality. He shuts down the chatter and drops the verdict. The tournament is a wrap. The sole survivor standing tall is none other than number 28, Tang Yun Myung. He dares the crowd to object. Moonchan opens his mouth to talk trash, but Wang Jin silences him with a look before he can even utter a syllable. Silence fills the air. No one wants that smoke. Wang Jin declares the results fair and square, ordering every remaining warrior to assemble immediately before their new king. A massive crowd of warriors forms a wall in front of our boy. Yi Jung is trembling, totally overwhelmed by the sheer pressure radiating from such an elite gathering. Wang Jin feels the weight of history lifting. After decades of the Tang clan crumbling into obscurity, a spark has finally ignited to burn down the past and start the revival arc. His voice booms across the arena as he crowns Yun Myung, the new master. In perfect sync, 82 warriors drop to their knees, surrendering their loyalty to the new regime. As they bow to the Tang clan's new head, Yun Myung's squad is shook. They are realizing this isn't just a title, it is absolute power. The aura of respect he commands is suffocating. His friends are sweating, wondering if they need to start using honorifics now. Meanwhile, Wang Jin is betting it all on a kid who hasn't even hit 20 years old yet, hoping our boy can muscle the clan back to glory. Standing before the best of Sichuan, our hero locks eyes with the crowd. He doesn't need a script. He knows exactly what they are craving. He vows to turn their dreams into reality and fast. Just trust the process, is the vibe. The warriors stare back, completely captivated, feeling like he is reading their souls. That heavy charisma confirms it, he is the chosen one. Without hesitation, the entire assembly pledges their swords and lives to follow Tang Yun Myung. Our guy wastes no time. Gear up, we are heading back to HQ. But as the convoy rolls out, Moon Chan lingers in the background, eyes burning holes into their backs. Rage is boiling over. Why does Yun Myung get the glory while he rots? He swears on his grave he will get his payback no matter the cost. He would sign a contract with the devil himself if it meant seeing our boy fall. With one last hateful glare, he marks Yun Myung as his prey. It is on. Night falls, and the arena is a graveyard. Tae-ho from the joint sect prowls through the carnage, scanning the bodies. He rushed here the second the news dropped. Boom, a figure crashes down from the heavens, cracking the ground. It is Hyun-soo. He immediately starts nagging Tae-ho for running off solo like a rookie. telling him, "You are at the top of the food chain, act like it." Taeho completely ignores the lecture, focusing instead on the eerie, heavy silence hanging over the massacre. Hyun-soo shudders. Nobody is napping next to a literal mountain of bodies. He starts crunching the numbers over 300 confirmed kills. That is, not normal. He wonders if the old guard still has teeth. Maybe an aging eagle is still deadlier than a young crow. The Tang family used to be legends after all. But wait, the intel said there were less than 100 family members on that mountain. Taeho nods. The math is not mathing. With the mountain completely exposed, a brawl this massive should have sounded like a thunderstorm. Yet nobody heard a peep. Hyun-soo theorizes the Tang family is moving like ghosts, dodging radar on purpose. But why the secrecy? What are they trying to bury? Especially when they sent tribute for the tournament, like good little allies. Taeho stops speculating and crouches down to inspect a corpse up close. Is the famous Tang blade really this dull, he muses. He quizzes Hyun-soo. Look closely. How many of these guys were actually dropped by a sword? Hyun-soo looks lost. Taeho snaps at him. Wake up, none of them. This wasn't a sword, it was a short blade. He drops the bombshell, all these bodies, this absolute carnage. It is the work of a single monster. Taeho's veteran eyes do not lie. He points out the messy details. Sure, the victims knew some moves, but there is zero sign of true mastery here. They were sloppy. That explains the jagged, chaotic wounds. But then look at the others, guys who died, with their hands still on their weapons, meaning they were blitzed in a split second before they could even blink. Taeho's expression darkens. There are only a handful of fighters on Earth with that kind of lethal speed. I need to look this demon in the eye, he decides. Pack your bags, boys. We are heading to Sichuan. Hyun-soo asks his master. Sichuan? Are you crazy? What if we actually bump into the psychopath who did this? Taeho just scoffs at the fear, asking, did you forget who I am? He is at the peak of the martial world. Defending himself against some slasher is not going to be an issue. Well, Hyun-soo is more worried about his own skin. Taeho waves it off. Unless this killer has a death wish, he is not going to pick a fight with a master. Hyun-soo sighs, realizing arguing with a brick wall is pointless. He pivots. Okay, but can we at least report back to the clan, head first? Taeho smirks, seeing the bigger picture. The chessboard is messy right now. Black Death Alliance is terrorizing the south. The demonic cult is rising in the west, and the joint sect is getting squeezed. As Hyun-soo watches his stubborn master strut away, he finally clocks the game plan. Taeho is not just sightseeing, he is looking to broker a high-stakes alliance with the Tang family. It is a 4D chess move. Use the Tang family's lethal power to wipe out the Black Death Alliance, and then pivot to crush the demonic cult. As the dots connect, Hyun-soo realizes this trip isn't a vacation, it's a recruitment drive. Taeho is betting everything on this deal. The strategy is clear. Unleash the Tang family on the Black Death Alliance, clean up the mess, and then dismantle the demonic cult for good. Hyun-soo knows the Tang family is already rotting from the inside out, so he's betting everything is about to go sideways. He's just praying he won't have to unleash the demon sword technique today. Meanwhile, back in the shadows, Elder Sam Yu is busy inscribing a talisman when a servant bursts in with an update on the warriors. They've hauled the competitors back already. The Elder is stunned that whole ordeal wrapped up way faster than predicted, so he naturally assumes Tang Yong-ryong crushed it, probably melting the competition with her fire dragon poison. But the messenger freezes, stammering that Miss Yong-ryong isn't among the survivors. That hits hard. The Elder loses it, screaming in disbelief. Cut to the main gate where two guards are placing bets on the winner. Their jaws drop as a massive squad rolls up, led front and center by our main character and his crew. Spotting the Tang family crest, the guards realize it's game over. The news spreads through town like wildfire, and everyone swarms the streets totally shook that the trials ended this fast and dying to glimpse the champion. While the mob tries to identify the handsome leader, the local girls are practically swooning over Yeonmyung's visuals. Suddenly, a desperate father screams for his daughter So-yi, and she waves back through the crowd. Pure relief washes over him. He'd heard the death count was high. All around, tearful reunions are breaking out. But it's not all happy tears. Some parents are breaking down, realizing their kids didn't make it. Yeonmyung watches the heartbreak, realized a mother out there is worrying about him too. He wonders if she'll even recognize his face, or how she'll react. Beside him, Yuri points out a guy wearing glasses. That's her dad, a worker in general admin. Our boy smirks, teasing her immediately, asking if she's already trying to get her dad some special treatment. Yuri doesn't even deny it, admitting she'd be crazy to miss this opportunity. You gotta respect the hustle. She explains her dad is actually skilled, but he's stuck in career limbo because he refuses to kiss up to the bosses. Yeonmyung likes the sound of that, deciding that anyone the corrupt elders hate will be a massive asset when he takes over. Time to build his own power base. Suddenly, Tang Ki-sam, a high-ranking lackey, storms in yelling, "Good work, warriors," the Jiggle family instructor. Chang Xin immediately bows, asking how he's been. Ki-sam chuckles, noting the guy hasn't changed a bit. He thanks the Jigal clan for their help, giving Changxin a patronizing pat on the shoulder, claiming it was a relief having that 7-lock phantom dome formation. He thinks that barrier actually kept the kids safe. Changxin knows that thing got smashed, but he plays it cool. Kisam then announces he's already alerted the elders. He orders everyone to head to the elder house and dismisses the warriors, but Supervisor Woojin cuts him off cold, stating flatly that they aren't going to the elder house. Kisam spins around, totally confused as Woojin steps up. Introducing himself as the interim honor guard leader, Woojin clarifies the situation. Kisam asks if he's deaf, so Woojin quotes the rulebook. The competition rules state the winner takes the seat at the Stealth and Poison Hall. He argues that's where they're heading, not the elder house. Kisam grinds his teeth, veins popping as he starts screaming. He demands to know how a grunt dares lecture a commander-in-chief on principles, ordering them to scramble immediately, or face the consequences. Woojin realizes this is a power play to silence them before they reach the elders. Suddenly, our MC strolls up to Kisam and drops the ultimate disrespect. Who even are you? Then he introduces himself as the champion, Tang Yeon Myung. Cut to later, Kisam is trembling as he reports to the elders who demand the winner's name. And he hesitates before dropping the bomb Tang Yeon Myung. One elder loses it, slamming his fist onto the table hard enough to crack it. Impossible, he screams, refusing to believe that Brat could survive the fire dragon poison, let alone win. Other elders chime in shocked that even their elite disciples like Gu Ke Ran were defeated. Elder Sok adds that there's no way Yeon Myung surpassed Gu Ke Ran in 3 years. He's convinced the kid pulled a dirty trick. And another elder suggests an immediate investigation. The fourth elder nods in agreement, demanding to know how Yeon Myung wiped out every top candidate. He wants the boy questioned now, but Kisam freezes. He's having a flashback to the gate. Our MC looked Kisam dead in the eye and said only the family head orders the heir. He made it clear just because the head is weak right now doesn't give the elders the right to steal his authority. Kisam tried to label them as rebels, screaming that Yeon Myung isn't officially recognized yet. He was terrified that if a guy who hates the elders takes charge, his own career is toast. So, he warned Yeon Myung not to poke the bear. That's when Yeon Myung looked up, his eyes glowing with a terrifying green murderous light. The air crackles as our MC unleashes a wave of suffocating pressure, slamming right into Kisam. The guy is shaking in his boots, realizing one wrong move means it's lights out. With ice in his veins, our boy drops the ultimatum. He couldn't care less what those washed-up elders think. They're going to honor the terms of the deal. Next stop, the Stealth and Poison Hall. He stares Kisam down, ordering him to deliver a message to the council. The game is over. And so is their little power trip. Cut to the council room. Kisam spills the tea, and the elders absolutely lose their minds with rage. Boom. One elder obliterates a solid wood table with a single strike, screaming about the disrespect. But wait, another old geezer stays calm, calculating that this might actually work in their favor. See, Tang Yeon Myung hasn't been officially stamped as the clan leader yet. It's a loophole. Perfect excuse to strip him of his title and humble him real quick. The 4 elders nod in agreement. It's time to crash the party at the Stealth and Poison Hall. They claim they need to verify his skills, but it's clearly a trap. Orders get barked out, and the elite warriors outside snap to attention. The master of the Blue Dragon Force steps out of the shadows, bowing to the command. The elder grins, vowing to show this upstart punk a harsh lesson. It's time he learns the dark truth of the Tang family, and who actually holds the leash. Meanwhile, back at the MC's crib, Tang Jo-hui is practically vibrating with excitement. He asks if the rumors are true. Did Myung actually sweep the competition? Our boy gives a calm nod. Jo-hui can feel the raw power radiating off him. His sister would have been so proud. But the wholesome vibes get cut short. Someone else is seething in the corner. It's Tang Ji-hyuk, the Poison King himself, and Moon-chan's dad. He sneers, asking if Myung honestly thinks he secured a victory. That voice triggers a flashback. 4 years ago, this same guy threatened to make Myung and his mom suffer, all because of what happened to his son's arm. Snap back to reality, our hero remembers exactly how much trash this guy used to talk. He looks Ji-hyuk dead in the eye. Watch your mouth and your moves while you're under my roof. The temperature in the room drops. With a gaze full of killing intent, he drops the mic. Keep it up and your son might lose his other arm too. Savage. Outside, Supervisor Woojin is deep in thought. Kisam called the MC the son of the Poison Phoenix. He tries to piece it together, remembering he asked the boy about it earlier, but the kid just brushed it off for later. Standing guard, Woojin's mind drifts back to the bloody war against the Heaven's brilliant demon lord. It was carnage. He vividly remembers the moment hope died when the enemy marched in, holding the severed head of the previous lord. The enemy was unstoppable, walking through poison like it was mist. Woojin remembers screaming for backup, begging the elders to intervene. But the elders, they didn't lift a finger. They claimed if they died, the family line ended. Cowards. Woojin knows the truth. If those old fogies had fought, countless lives could have been saved. But instead, they pinned the whole disaster on the Poison Phoenix, claiming she nearly ruined the clan. And then it clicks. She took the fall. She accepted exile and shame just to keep her baby boy safe. Woojin spins around to his squad, eyes blazing. You all see who the real master is now, right? He tells them this is their shot at redemption for failing that day. But before they can rally, a shout tears through the air. Inside, our MC hears the noise, sighs, and heads out to handle business. The lawn is packed. The elders have arrived with their army. One of them steps forward sneering. You think you can defy the council and live to tell about it? Woojin tenses up. He didn't expect the elders to actually bring out the cavalry for this. Bring me Yun Myung, the elder roars. But our boy is already strolling out the door. Chill out, he says smoothly. I'm right here. Jo Hui starts to panic, spotting the third elder, but the old man screams over him. You dare sit on the throne without our blessing. As the MC casually walks down the steps, he doesn't even flinch. I won. That's my qualification, he states flatly. Aren't we supposed to be verifying the results at the hall right now? What's with the delay? The elder turns purple, screaming about the boy's rotten attitude and lack of respect. Woojin tries to step in to de-escalate, but the elder shuts him down instantly. He turns back to the MC. Confess. Tell us what really happened in that exam if you want to keep breathing. Our hero smirks. I thought the rule was, what happens in the competition stays in the competition. Or are the great Tang family rules just a joke to you? He tilts his head. You think I cheated, is that it? I know the truth, the elder spits. The Jagal Lord told me everything. You had outside help. The Dark Moon Sword Sect. 300 mercenaries. With that kind of interference, the results are void. But the MC cuts in cool as ice. Actually, Guk Ryun and Yang Ryung took out the other participants. I just finished the job by killing them. The mercenaries showed up after the match was decided. So really it was perfectly fair. The elder is foaming at the mouth now. Who killed WHO? Our boy points into the distance. Go to Gangdong Mountain. Count the bodies yourself. That snaps the last nerve. The elder launches himself forward. A blur of rage and speed. Crack lightning explodes around them. The crowd screams, but when the dust settles, our boy has caught the elder's hand in midair. He looks the old man in the face, completely unbothered. You senile fool. Is it that hard to accept your granddaughter is dead? The third elder freezes, eyes bulging. He can't process it. His strike was stopped dead by a single hand. He knows his demon-killing poison. Shreds sight and sound the instant it touches skin. He starts spiraling. Did this kid actually overpower his internal energy? Impossible, he mutters, shaking off the fear. He winds up for a second strike, screaming, You dare disrespect your elders, you little brat. Cold as ice, our MC whips out a vial, the one he snatched from Ryong. The elder halts. Where? Where did you get that? You recognize this, don't you? The hero counters. The silence confirms it. It's the exact poison the elder gifted to his own granddaughter. Smash. He hurls the vial at the floor. Glass shatters and boom, a massive column of fire roars into existence. Through the flames, he speaks. A generic poison. Maybe I'd let it slide. But this is one of the Tang family's legendary 10 poisons. Supervisor Wu Jin's jaw hits the floor. The legends are true. Mayong confirms the nightmare. That's the fire dragon poison. Wu Jin stares into the blaze, feeling the raw heat radiating from the liquid. It clicks. The armory under the third elder's watch wasn't just secure. It was compromised from the inside. The elder is trembling, now exposed. Our hero shifts his gaze to Wu Jin. Are the 10 poisons cheap toys for personal vendettas? The answer comes swift. Absolutely not, Wu Jin barks. That stuff is a biological nuke. It's dangerous enough to take down the highest-ranked masters in the game. The recipe is gone forever. What's left is worth more than its weight in diamonds. So, using it for selfish gain, that's a death sentence. Immediately, the gallery of elders erupts in outrage. You dare threaten a clan elder, they scream, commanding the guards to arrest Wu Jin on the spot. Our MC steps in, voice cutting through the noise. Oh, so being an elder means the rules don't apply to you. Nice logic. He looks the third elder dead in the eye. Don't worry. I'll make it quick. He unleashes a flame art. The elder's skin instantly petrifies, turning to stone before crumbling into dust on the floor. The room is paralyzed with terror. Coldly, our hero hopes the granddaughter is waiting for that monster in the afterlife. He was corrupt trash, the MC declares. He had zero right to judge the family head. I'm the one who decides where I stand. Wu Jin watches, torn between shock and total awe. Seeing this kid face down the entire council, Wu Jin realizes history is being written right now. But the peace doesn't last. Another elder loses it. Get him, restrain him now, he bellows to the guards. The MC ignores the noise and locks eyes with the big boss, Grand Elder Tang Sujung. Did you know, the MC presses? Your disciple nearly destroyed this family. The Grand Elder plays dumb. What nonsense is this? Don't play coy. Did you know he was a mole for the Dark Moon Sword Sect? The Grand Elder explodes, screaming, lies. You're trying to frame me, he spits. But the MC stays calm, laying out the facts about the Dark Moon invasion. They breached the contest grounds, he states. Prove it. Show me the conspiracy, the elder demands. Suddenly, a voice cuts in. I'll handle this. It's John Gill, the vice director's son. He steps out of the shadows, shedding his robe to reveal he's the living proof. Before I met Yom-young, John explains, pointing to the fresh, jagged cuts mapping his torso, I clashed with Tang-guk Rin. Look closer. These aren't from poison or hidden weapons. These are sword marks. He pauses for effect. And not just any sword. It was a double blade style. The Grand Elder starts stammering excuses, but the room has already turned against him. He's right, another elder chimes in. I saw that disciple training once. It looked exactly like sword arts, not poison hands. He points to the scars. The pattern matches perfectly. John nods solemnly. The evidence is undeniable. Right before he tried to finish me, John adds, he admitted everything. His real name is Mak In-guk. A wave of whispers sweeps through the elders. Mak In-guk, the bastard child of the maid. It clicks. The rumors were true. The pieces fit together like a terrifying puzzle. The MC shoots a nod of respect to John. Thanks for having my back. John just grins. You saved my life, man. This is the least I could do. Meanwhile, the Grand Elder is sweating bullets. The reality that he harbored a spy is sinking in. Panic mode activated. He needs a scapegoat. Stop him, he shrieks to the council. He killed the third elder, avenge him. But the MC shuts it down instantly. Don't be stupid, he warns the crowd. The evidence is right in front of you. Desperate, the Grand Elder plays the victim card. I didn't know I was duped. This isn't like the third elder situation. Is your rank a joke to you? The hero snaps. Imagine if that spy had taken over the family and handed the entire clan to the Dark Moon sect. What I didn't know save us then. He calls it what it is, criminal negligence. Wait, the Grand Elder screams. Too late. Slash. In a blur of motion, the MC severs the elder's arm. The room gasps in unison. Blood drips as the MC delivers the verdict. You harbored a spy. There's no escaping that charge. By law, I should destroy your dantian and wipe your martial arts forever. But since we can't prove you were in on it, an arm will suffice. The Grand Elder grunts a painful thanks for the mercy, but his eyes tell a different, darker story. He assumes Young is too fast to track, so he feigns a moment of weakness to slide a secret vial into his palm. In his grip lies the formless poison. It's one of the Tang clan's legendary 10 poisons, invisible, scentless, and completely undetectable. It might lack the original's raw power, but he spent half his life perfecting this brew. He swears this is the moment he ends our boy. The Elder moves to strike before Yang can react. But joke's on him, our main character clocks the trap instantly. Slash. In a blur, Yang severs the Elder's remaining hand, the very one clutching the toxin. Another Elder loses it, screaming, "What is this insanity?" He throws Yang's promise of mercy right back in his face, and demands to know how Yang can possibly claim the family head seat after pulling a stunt like that. Yang doesn't flinch. He just points at the bloody stump on the floor. The crowd follows his gaze and spots the shattered vial lying right next to the hand. Toxic liquid oozes from the shards. Yang exposes the truth: the Grand Elder was circulating poison through his own blood for a suicide attack, calling the tactic absolutely pathetic. On the ground, the defeated Elder begs, screaming for the family head to show mercy. But our hero raises a hand wreathed in green energy. He calls out Tang Sok-jung by name. For attempting to assassinate the leader and destabilizing the clan, he brands the old man a traitor. The sentence is death. No hesitation, Yang swings and the Grand Elder's head rolls. Clean cut. Dead silence falls over the crowd. Yang turns his cold gaze to the remaining elders. None of you are above the law. He warns that if anyone abuses their rank to bypass the rules, he'll personally deliver the execution. He admits the clan is on the brink of collapse, fragile as glass, but he makes one solemn vow. He guarantees absolute protection from the evil sects and the terrifying demonic cult. You will live in peace here in Sichuan. Then he pivots to Wu Jin's troops and the onlookers, and ignores the elders, asking the crowd directly, "Do you acknowledge me as your rightful head?" Night falls. An old servant bursts into Tung Jihye's quarters. Jihye, our boy's mom, looks up in alarm, begging her to breathe and speak clearly. Did Yang win? The servant weeps tears of joy. He did it, my lady. The entire stealth and poison hall has bowed to him. He's become a true leader. Jihye breaks down, wishing Tong Longren were alive to see this day. But back at the main hall, there's no time for tears. Yang wants to rush to his mom, but he's buried under a mountain of responsibility. He takes his seat at the high table. Tang Jokui drops the hammer. By the head's order, all operations now run through the stealth and poison hall. Plus, 0 major moves happen without Yang's direct stamp of approval. Essentially, he just stripped the elders of their power and handed it to his own crew. You can see the bitterness on their faces. No one dares object until Elder O pipes up. He butters Yang up, calling him a prodigy, but claims he lacks experience and suggests the elders assist as regents until he matures. Yang nods like he agrees. But he's not stupid. He knows they're just trying to puppet master him. We'll table the regency talk, Yang says, shutting down the authority transfer. Later, the investigation results come in, confirming the third elder was smuggling fire dragon poison. The council's reputation tanks immediately. Yang seizes the moment control of the 10 poisons goes to his hall. The elders are losing ground fast, left with only their private armies. Yang graciously announces they can keep managing those troops, but he adds with a smirk, you'll be paying their salaries out of your own pockets. Naturally, the elders look like they swallowed lemons. Yang twists the knife, any budget previously allocated, gone. With the Grand Elder dead, his elite squads, the direct command and sovereign spirit troops are drifting aimlessly. So Yang absorbs them. He merges the units into a new shadow troop under the Stealth and Poison Hall. Their new job, external defense. Their new pay slashed to match the standard guards. Some soldiers start grumbling about the downgrade, so Yang confronts them head-on. Forget your old privileges. You let your skills rot, he tells them. Do your job or get out. He promises brutal punishment for laziness or insubordination. And just like that, the room goes silent. 2 days later, Instructor Jigal, Changshin, and his team are bowing before the new boss. Family head Changshin greets him. He's sweating bullets internally, realizing Yang just dismantled the Elder Council with a mix of brute force and 4D chess, and one wrong word now could be fatal. Our boy walks in apologizing for the radio silence. Schedule's been crazy, but I need a favor. The instructor stares at him, jaw on the floor. He can't believe this powerhouse is really participant number 28. Our MC catches the vibe check. Surprised by the drip, he asks, smoothing his coat. My crew wouldn't let me step out looking like a bum. Changshin realizes this isn't just a makeover. The kid hasn't even taken the throne yet, but he's already acting like he owns the place. Voice trembling, he asks, what do you want? Myung doesn't beat around the bush. I want the Jiggle clan's defensive formation. I hear it's legendary. Set it up here. I want a barrier that keeps the evil sects out for good. Changshin starts sweating bullets. I can't. That requires the head's permission, rare catalysts, and a team of formation masters. Right mid-excuse, silver needles flash from our boy's fingertips. Whoosh, emerald energy floods the room. In a split second, every single one of the instructor's backup dancers drops to the floor. The instructor whips around, horrified to see his squad paralyzed. What are you doing? You're the family head. Suddenly, a needle freezes millimeters from his pupil. I know about your little dirty deal, our hero whispers. You and Tang Young Ryong. You deliberately let the Dark Moon Sword Sect invade, didn't you? Did you think I'd just let that slide? His gaze turns icy. Install the defense grid. I want the same security level as the Jiggle main quarters. And let's be clear, I'm not asking. This is an order. I don't do no. Remember the Tang family motto. Pay back a grudge tenfold. That's why those elders are 6 feet under. He holds up 3 fingers. 1, 2. If you don't give me a yes, I'm paying a personal visit to the Jiggle family, and I'll make sure they know exactly whose fault it is. He lets the threat hang in the air until the guy finally cracks. I'll do it. He drops to his knees, slamming his head on the floor. Please just spare my family. Our boy smirks. Satisfied. Better get moving then. Later the squad rolls up. Mirio, Aijin, and Yuri. He meant to link up sooner, but running a clan is a grind. Mirio looks nervous. You called? Family head. Family head. He bursts out laughing. Seriously, cut the formalities. When it's just us, keep it casual. Yuri fidgets. Are you sure that's appropriate? Instantly, the vibe switches. Feet go up on the desk. Yo Myung, they yell, totally unrestrained. He facepalms. Okay, maybe dial it back like 10%. Yuri kicks back and stretches. So, what's the move, boss? I just made your dad chief officer. The girls gasp in shock. He's got the skills, Myung adds. Total pro. So tell him to grab this opportunity. Yuri is beaming, but then her face falls. Is it safe? Just like that. She knows the politics are brutal. Don't worry, he shrugs. I silence the haters. Permanently. Just make sure he keeps his nose clean. No skimming off the top. Yuri jumps to her feet. He would never. I know. Just help him settle into the role, all right. Thank you, she's practically crying. He turns to the boys. All right, status report. Talk to me. I'm scouting for hidden talent, people, the elders rejected. Mirio shakes her head. I got nothing. He locks eyes with Ejin. What about the Medicine King Hall? That's your turf, isn't it? Asian freezes. He looks conflicted. I wasn't sure if I should bring this up, since it involves you, Myung. He drops his voice. The Medicine King Hall. They were involved in poisoning your father. The room goes ice cold. Bam, Yuri smashes the table. Those traitors, how dare they? Myung raises a hand. Let him speak. They operate in the shadows, Ejin explains. Totally independent from the council. They fund themselves by treating patients and selling medicine. Their cash flow is the only reason the Tang family survived after the Demon Lord War. My grandpa ran the place until they kicked him out. Your dad used to visit him every day. He defended the hall when people trash-talked it. But he didn't have the cultivation to back it up. He took beatings for us. Serious internal damage. Myung clenches his fist. His dad went down swinging. Then it all blew up, Ejin says. Vice Leader Tang Il started running his mouth. He insulted your mother. Vile stuff. When words failed, Tang Il tried to throw hands. My grandpa stepped in and shut him down. That cost Tang Il his shot at becoming the next leader. Our hero's eyes darken. So Tang Il held a grudge and used poison to settle the score. Yijun drops the truth bomb. He confirms Tang Il didn't just kill Yeonmyeong's father, he completely flipped the Medicine King Hall upside down. The usurper went even further, poisoning Yijun's grandfather and throwing him behind bars. Mirio, confused, asks why this nightmare was kept under wraps. Yijun shakes his head. Fear kept everyone silent. He entered the contest just to stay alive, betting they wouldn't execute the one guy holding all the secrets. Then the dam breaks. He starts sobbing, terrified to even think about what kind of shape his grandfather is in right now. He apologizes for failing to scout talent for Yeonmyeong, but our boy cuts to the chase. Why keep the old man breathing? Why not just end him? Yijun reveals a dark secret. The hall is hiding an inner pill harvested from a mythical beast, the 10,000-year fire carp. Yuri and Mirio are floored that such a creature exists, so our hero asks for the lowdown on this inner pill. Yijun explains it's a massive power-up for internal energy, bringing up a legend of a lord who hit the fire realm just by eating it. But there's a catch. The pill is pure poison. Swallow it raw, without neutralizing the toxins, and you're dead meat. Plus, if you fumble the purification process, the power fades. Our boy connects the dots. Yijun's grandfather is the only one with the skills to keep the power intact while removing the poison. Yijun nods. That's exactly it. The current leader plans to pop that pill, ascend to the fire realm, and lead a massive rebellion out of the Tang family to build his own empire. Naturally, the squad is furious at this treason. Yeonmyeong thinks the guy is delusional for chasing the fire realm without putting in the work. Our guy thanks Yijun for keeping it real, then asks one final question. If they wipe out the traitors and reinstate the grandfather, can the Medicine King Hall actually recover? Yijun clenches his fist, eyes burning with determination. He says yes, he'll train a whole new generation if he has to. Our boy smiles. Good enough for me. He tells Mirio her story is on pause for now, then stands up, declaring they're rolling out to the Medicine King Hall immediately. Yijun hesitates, asking if our hero is really okay, skipping the visit to his mother. But our protagonist doesn't flinch. She'll get it. As the family head, he can't let a snake like this slither away. More importantly, his mom would never want him to sit back while his friend is living in hell. That hits Yijun right in the feels. Finally, our boy kicks open the gate and vows to completely erase the Medicine King Hall that gave Yijun so many nightmares. Back at the hall, Chief Tang Il is pacing, clearly annoyed. Word is out that the Lord's son has taken over as family head, and that's bad news. What's worse is that Tang Yijun is MIA. He knows the kid isn't the type to bail on his grandfather, but still, maybe Yijun chose survival over loyalty. Tang Il figures he could off the old man any time, but that inner pill is the problem. To drain the pill's full potential and hit the fire realm, he needs the old master to talk. The issue? The grandfather is tight-lipped even when he's lucid. Tang Il considers risking it and removing the poison himself, but one slip-up ruins everything. Suddenly, a disciple bursts in, screaming that the clan head has arrived. Tang Il snaps, shouting at him to shut up. Outside, it's absolute chaos. The clan warriors are dismantling the Medicine King Hall guards, carving a path straight for our boy and Yijun. Moments later, Yijun confronts the traitors, demanding to know why they betrayed the family. Yeonmyeong asks if he sees his grandfather, and Yijun grinds his teeth, no sign of him. He tore the place apart and found nothing. He screams at the guards, demanding to know where they stashed the old man. The guards exchange nervous glances and play dumb. Bad move. Our hero signals Supervisor Woo Jin, who instantly decapitates the liars. Our boy glares at the survivors, asking who they think they're fooling with those shifty eyes. He warns them not to test his patience. Talk. Now. Terrified, they finally spill the beans, revealing that right after the contest started, the leader ordered them to throw the former master into the Noyak. Yijun turns pale. How could they? He explains that the Overgava Noyak was an isolation ward for infectious diseases shut down because the freezing damp conditions were basically a death sentence. Our hero declares they're going in, ordering the Bangui Brigade to mop up the hall and hold the entrance. Woo Jin is more than happy to oblige. The Medicine King Hall members beg for mercy, but Woo Jin and his crew draw their blades. It's a slaughter. Deep inside the cave, our boy notes how deep it goes. Noyak is the perfect name for this hellhole. They reach the end of the line. Yijun breaks down, sobbing that they're probably too late. But Yeonmyeong cuts in, don't panic yet. The grandfather is still breathing. Yijun looks up, desperate for hope. Our boy confirms it. He can sense the life force. They rush into the cell, and Yijun screams out, "It's him. It's really him." With a swift, decisive strike, our hero slices through the steel cage bars like they're made of butter. Yijun scrambles toward the prisoner, sobbing uncontrollably. The old man looks absolutely wrecked, his condition, way worse than anyone imagined. Sensing the nasty signature of the mountain-subduing poison, our MC demands the full toxicity report. Yi-jun chokes out the deadly cocktail list Thunderbolt and the dreaded idiocy poison, a bioweapon designed to rot the brain and turn legendary warriors into mindless husks instead of granting them a clean death. He explains it. Attacks the neural pathways directly. If you don't catch it early, antidotes are useless. But Myung just shrugs it off with zero hesitation, declaring, This is child's play. Yi-jun stands there, jaw dropped. Our protagonist commands him to brace the old man's frail body, then firmly plants a palm against the grandfather's chest. He channels his chi, unleashing the poison-devouring frenzy, combined with universal poison absorption, to hunt down every toxic drop in the old man's system. Instantly, the necrotic black hue drains from the grandfather's skin, replaced by a healthy human flush. A finger twitches signs of life. Yi-jun is losing his mind. Meanwhile, our guy is internally scoffing. His technique has snacked on poisons way deadlier than this little appetizer. With surgical precision, he extracts the toxins without damaging a single cell of the old man's withered frame. Yi-jun screams out. He's breathing. He's actually breathing. The gray pallor vanishes completely. Our boy flashes a confident smirk and commands, Wake up, old-timer. And just like that, the grandfather's eyes snap open. Where am I? He croaks, his gaze landing on Yi-jun with a spark of recognition. Then shifting his eyes to our hero, he whispers in disbelief. Long Rin, is that you? Once the old master fully comes to, they catch him up on the chaos. The realization hits him like a truck. This powerhouse standing before him is Long Rin's flesh and blood, the legitimate heir to the throne. Our boy nods in confirmation, noting that Yi-jun already spilled the tea about how the old man protected his dad back in the day. Tears well up in the old man's eyes. Fate really has a twisted sense of humor, he murmurs, overwhelmed by guilt. The kid who never got to know his father because of the old man's past mistakes is now the one saving his life. He looks at Long Rin's son, thinking about what an absolute legend he's become. If only Long Rin could see you now, he chokes out. Then, dropping all pride, the grandfather begs for the honor of serving the new heir for the rest of his days. You don't even have to ask, our boy replies, draping his own green robe over the elder's shivering shoulders. He clarifies his mission. He's here to restructure the leadership hierarchy. Yi-jun cuts in, urging them to move. They've got an audience waiting outside. As they emerge from the cave, Tang-il looks like he's seen a ghost. He can't process how the old man is standing tall and barks out in panic. You dare attack the Medicine King Hall members. He tries to flip the script, reminding everyone that his hall is the cash cow. We bankroll this entire clan. You want the Tang family to go bankrupt. Our boy just stares him down. You seriously gonna play dumb right now? Especially after seeing exactly where we just walked out of. Myung turns to the grandfather, eyes cold. Any final words for this clown? But the grandfather just averts his gaze, refusing to even acknowledge the traitor. Realizing he's cornered, Tang-il makes a desperate move, shoving people aside and sprinting for his life, screaming, out of my way. He knows staying means death, but thwack, a needle embeds itself right in his neck. Tang-il freezes, mid-step paralyzed. Our hero casually explains, that's the heart-severing flame poison, courtesy of Yi-jun. I'd say Yi-jun's poison skills are more than enough to replace you, wouldn't you agree? He pauses. Not that you can hear me anymore. Tang-il drops like a sack of potatoes, stone dead. Our boy pivots to the trembling survivors and orders the Bongui Brigade clean up the trash. Wu Jin, reliable as ever, springs into action. His squad wipes out the Medicine King Hall loyalists, effectively purging the corruption root and stem. News of the hall's collapse spreads through the clan like wildfire. Whispers start circulating immediately among the ranks. Can the Tang clan even survive without that funding? They question the sanity of the new leadership for destroying their golden goose. Meanwhile, deep inside the now liberated hall, our hero stands before a blazing red orb pulsing with heat. The grandfather steps up wary. Careful, he warns. The hall is yours, but that orb is pure danger. He looks at our guy nervously. You're not planning to grab that thing now, are you? Give it a few days for the toxicity to fade, he advises. But our boy is staring at the artifact like a kid in a candy store. Appreciate the concern, he smirks, but I'm taking it raw. I've got plans for this bad boy. He figures if the poison is potent enough to be seen with the naked eye, it's too valuable to waste. Myung reaches out. Before his skin even grazes the surface, the heat is so intense his fingers feel like they're melting off the bone. He clenches his fist, fighting the pain. This is top-tier fiery poison, exactly what you'd expect from a spirit born in lava. But honestly, compared to the fire dragon poison he handled before, this is nothing. An average martial artist touching this unrefined power would be incinerated from the inside out instantly. Perfect. This is the ultimate benchmark test for his 10 poisons resistance. He slams the containment box shut, feeling the raw spirit energy humming inside. Cut to the stealth and poison hall. Tang Ji-hee steps in to see her son. She enters gracefully, apologizing for popping in unannounced, and tells our hero, I truly won the lottery with a son like you. Our hero smiles warmly, reminding her, Mom, this place was yours to begin with. You belong here. He studies her face. She's still stunning, even if the years of stress have left their mark. Jihei can't hold back anymore. She rushes forward and crushes him in a hug, sobbing with relief that he made it back in one piece. Our guy holds her tight, finally home. Thinking back to his last life, the only thing he remembers is drowning in regret on his deathbed, because he had 0 people to celebrate his wins with. He decides one lonely lifetime was enough suffering, making a blood oath to protect his current happiness at all costs. Our main character checks in with Jihei, asking if the Bongui squad showed up. She nods, confirming they swung by this morning to handle her moving logistics. She notes the crew looked weirdly familiar, but her attention shifts to the mystery box in his grip. "What are you holding?" "A gift," our boy says, popping the lid. A blinding light floods the room. Jihei freezes. She instantly recognizes the legendary inner pill. It's the artifact from the 10,000-year fire carp. She insists that he, as the clan leader, is the only one who should be consuming that kind of power, but he shuts that down. "It's yours, Mom." He claims he has maxed out his stats and the inner pill is basically useless to him now. Jihei looks at him like he is speaking an alien language. Our hero explains that the orb literally cannot buff his levels any higher. He grabs her hand. Whoosh! A massive surge of thermal energy blasts from him. Jihei is stunned by the blistering heat radiating off her son. "Did you?" she stammers. "Did you actually hit the fire realm?" He nods and her mind starts racing. Her son is a monster already in the fire realm. She wants to cheer, but a wave of terror hits her gut. If their enemies find out the Tang family is harboring a powerhouse like this, they will launch an all-out war. Seeing her panic, our protagonist softens his tone. He tells her he wants her to live a long life, long enough to cover his dad's share too, and to watch over him as he conquers the world. He flips the box open again. "The energy is leaking, Mom. Clock is ticking." Jihei bites her lip, conflicted. She realizes that even if her kid is OP, a mother's instinct is to get strong enough to protect him. She finally accepts the gift. "I can't be rude and say no," she smiles, a spark returning to her eyes. "Do you know what they used to call me back in the day? Sichuan's top beauty, the poison phoenix." She grips the box and suddenly a terrifying aura explodes from her body. Our boy steps back, eyes wide. "That's right," she smirks, "the poison phoenix. I wasn't just a pretty face in this family." She admits she might be rusty compared to him, but asks, "Still got it, don't I?" Our boy is floored. Mom was secretly grinding her cultivation levels this whole time. He never expected her to be training solo. A Fire Realm Master can sense a pin drop, so for her to hide this kind of power from him, that takes serious skill. Realizing she was already at the breaking point of her limits, Jihei prepares to ascend. She dives into meditation, trying to fuse with the spirit of the inner pill, knowing she has to shatter her current ceiling. But the absorption is dragging. The method is simple. Sip the energy slowly, but it is not working fast enough. The pill is evaporating into thin air. She starts panicking, thinking she is going to waste half the treasure before she finishes. Suddenly a hand lands on her shoulder. "Stop overthinking it," our boy whispers. "Enlightenment isn't a math problem. Don't analyze. Just absorb and mimic." He tells her he is going to give her a cheat code. He pumps his own chi into her system. Jihei gasps as Yeonmyung's energy starts rewriting the flow of the inner pill. She recognizes the signature move, the Tang family poisonous vital azure radiant heart technique. It clicks. She doesn't need to nibble at the power. She can transform that pure energy into her own style and chug it all at once. She focuses, thinking, "I am so blessed to have a genius son." Boom. Process complete. Our boy steps back, dusting off his hands. "Congrats, Mom. Welcome to the Fire Realm." Cut to the Hall of Dark Poison. The entire upper management is gathered, and the vibe is toxic. Captain Ji Hyuk-dan is visibly salty, grumbling about being dragged into a meeting at such a weird hour. They feel totally disrespected. The fifth elder taps his foot, asking Jo Kwang how much longer this is going to take. Even if Yeonmyung is the young lord making the OGs wait, like this is a bad look. Jo Kwang forces a smile, hiding his own annoyance. Any second now. Right on cue, the doors swing open. The young lord has arrived. Yeonmyung struts in, thanking everyone for the early wake-up call. He explains he wanted the whole crew here for a major announcement. He steps up to the podium and the fifth elder leans in. Our boy remembers the fifth elder was the one pushing for a regent to run the show until he came of age. The elder nods smugly, asking if he has picked a candidate. Our protagonist turns with a grin. "Why do you assume I'd pick one of you dinosaurs?" As the fifth elder tries to process that shade, a silhouette enters the room. The air leaves the room. Everyone freezes. It has been over 10 years, yet she looks more radiant than ever. The elders are shook. Seeing their jaws on the floor, our hero drops the mic. "No one runs this clan but her. Am I right?" Ousted from her throne by the vast heavens' demonic cult, she was stripped of everything, her title, her home, her legacy. But 10 years later, the phoenix rises from the ashes. Enter Tang Jihei. She scans the crowd, locking eyes with ghosts from her past. Flashback to the night before the takeover. Soaking in the bath, Jihei felt the hum of the transcendence realm coursing through her veins, though the scent of impurities leaving her body. Not exactly pleasant. She blushed, hoping the maidservant wouldn't judge the sudden detox. Clearly, her energy control needed some fine-tuning, but with her senses heightened by the new realm, she finally clocked Yeonmyeong's aura. The kid was terrifyingly close to hitting the next stage of transcendence himself. That was insane. Even the legendary Lord of the Unorthodox Coalition didn't hit that level until his 20s. What the hell happened during those trials? A faint, proud smile touched her lips. There was still work to do. Later that night, our MC hyped up his mom, clapping for her breakthrough. The vibes at dinner were immaculate, until Ji-hae dropped the bomb. How exactly did he get this OP at such a young age? Our boy panicked internally. Valid question. But he couldn't exactly say, "Hey mom, I attained enlightenment because I have memories from a past life." Time for a half-truth. He leaned in, changing the subject. "Did you know, the third elder smuggled a forbidden poison into the trials?" Ji-hae nodded grimly. "One of the 10 great poisons. He gave the fire dragon's breath to his granddaughter," she noted. Yeonmyeong smirked. "Yeah, and I drank it." Her eyes went wide with panic. "Are you crazy? That could have killed you?" He laughed it off like it was nothing. "Relax. During the goo battle, young Ryung hit me with another poison. Mix them together. Boom. Enlightenment. I figured out how to turn the toxicity into raw internal power." Ji-hae sat back stunned. Converting lethal poison into strength. That was a wild way to level up. Crisis averted. She bought it. But then her expression shifted. "Rumor has it the Hall of Medicine got demolished," she said, eyeing him. "Was that your doing?" "No point lying now, especially since it involved his dad's legacy." He nodded and spilled the tea on the corruption. Ji-hae clenched her fists, knuckles turning white. "I prayed those rumors were fake." "Poor Yi-jung," she whispered, voice trembling. Then her gaze hardened. "I need to ask you something. Since your father died, I've lived in the shadows, terrified for your safety. But no more. I'm building a foundation so rock solid nobody will ever dare challenge your claim to the throne." Our hero offered a soft smile. Back to the present, Ji-hae strides into the great hall, commanding the room. Whispers ripple through the crowd. "Is that her? She looks decades younger, radiating pure vitality." Jo Gui beams, shouting, "Sister Ji-hae." Then Yeonmyeong steps up. "Behold, the new leader of the Sichuan Tong clan." The fifth elder freezes. Game over. She isn't just back. She is in charge. Taking the podium, she sets the terms. "I accept the title, but make no mistake, I rule only until my son comes of age. I am merely the shield. He is the future sword, and I will build a clan worthy of him." She wastes zero time. First order of business, the corrupt Hall of Medicine is history. It is rebranded as the Hall of Remedies. Tang Ho-yeol takes the lead with Yi-jung as his deputy. Yuri's father takes the executive council seat and immediately audits the books. Spoiler alert, the numbers don't add up. The elders were skimming off the top. He seizes the stolen assets, refilling the clan's treasury instantly. Captain Tang Ji-hyuk fired, along with every corrupt elder involved in the scheme. If you stole a single coin, you are out. It is a total house cleaning. In just a few days, the clan is transformed. Cut to our MC chilling on a cliff edge. He watches the sunset impressed. Mom is a natural boss. She fixed the mess. He couldn't. He originally just wanted a quiet life with her. But looking around now, he has got ride-or-die friends, loyal subordinates, and a whole clan depending on him. Funny how life works. A month ago, he couldn't even protect himself. Now he has to get stronger. The Lord of the Dark is coming, and our boy isn't losing this time. Unorthodox Coalition versus the Demon Lord of Vast Heavens. Meanwhile, word on the street hits the Dark Unorthodox Coalition's big boss about the Dang clan's leadership change. He gets the intel that Inhu Mag and Yan Song-jong just caught a massive L from the Dang clan's young lord. Heartfire sect leader Seo Hyun-yo confirms those two goons were on the coalition's payroll and notorious throughout the underworld. He practically begs the boss to wipe the Dang clan off the map before they make a comeback, but Lord Giljun-yu just shakes his head. When Seo-yeon hints that letting their own crew get stomped without retaliation makes him look weak, Giljun snaps. He flies into a rage, warning her to back off the Dang clan immediately, insisting they're still useful pawns. He flexes his spiritual pressure, a terrifying aura flooding the room, until Seo-yeon is literally shaking in her boots as he glares daggers at her, making it clear those idiots attacked without a green light and got what they deserved. Then just as fast, he flips the switch back to chill mode, declaring it was actually a mercy they died fighting the Dang clan rather than facing his wrath. With a creepy smirk, he admits our MC has piqued his interest for clutching that 1 versus 2. Finally, he commands his guards to dispatch an invite, summoning the Dang young lord to the upcoming Sakyeon banquet. Cut to Ji-hee's room, where Yoon-myung is hyping up his mom for absolutely crushing it as the acting leader. But she's humble, admitting she feels a bit rusty, since she hasn't handled clan business in ages. Suddenly he clocks it, she's cloaking her internal energy again. Ji-hee is low-key shocked, her son spotted that, but internally, our hero admits he could barely sense a thing. Still, he's wondering why she's in stealth mode when she's already hit the transcendence realm. Ji-hee clarifies she isn't just suppressing her power, she's engaging a top-secret clan art, known as the hidden energy presence. She suggests he learn it too, but he's confused, not seeing the point of hiding his power level right now. That's when Mom drops into storytelling mode about the OG ancestor, the founding father of the Dang clan. Back in the day, a horrific plague tore through a remote village. In Sakyeon, despite plenty of food, the villagers looked like walking skeletons. With no funerals allowed, they just torched the bodies to stop the infection from spreading. The village was basically deleted except for one 10-year-old kid. He was completely immune to the sickness, leading the superstitious villagers to blame him for the curse. They exiled him instantly. Caught in a storm, he hid in a cave surviving on sacrificial food scraps that villagers had left for the gods. 2 days of isolation passed, but on day 3, nobody came to the temple. The entire village was dead. As the sole survivor, the boy questioned why fate spared him. Suddenly, a shady crew pulled up. Since the kid had a natural poison resistance, he caught the eye of the deadliest group. In martial arts history, the Moon Shadow Poison Assassination Guild. These guys were kidnapping kids all over the continent, turning them into weapons by force-feeding them poison pills that required a daily antidote, making escape a death sentence. As the boy grew into a cold-blooded killer, he found a comrade's corpse who missed a dose. That's when it clicked. The guild was responsible for the plague that nuked his home just to find recruits. Fueled by rage, he grinded for power, taking the suicide missions nobody else wanted. He eventually leveled up enough to assassinate a supreme master. Impressed, the guild leader promoted him to the 5 great assassins and offered him any reward he desired. However, the boy simply said, "I don't need a thing." Then he went full berserk mode, slaughtering the entire guild and ascending to a new realm mid-fight. Using combat, enlightenment, mixed with the guild's own techniques, he crafted his ultimate move, the Rain of a Million Flowers. That night, the Moon Shadow Poison Assassination Guild was erased from existence. His descendants settled in Sakyeon, founding the Dang clan we know today. Legend calls him the Shadowless Visitor. Ji-hee looks over and realizes her son passed out during the lore dump. She pinches his cheek to wake him up. Yoon-myung groggily mutters that he had no clue their clan history was so lit. Still, he asks what the history lesson has to do with the hidden presence technique. Mom drops the bomb. The guild had multiple transcendent level masters, including the boss, and asks if he can guess how the Shadowless Visitor soloed them all. Our boy confidently guesses it had to be the Rain of a Million Flowers, right? Thinking that spamming AoE attacks is the way to go, most warriors assume you just need to flood the zone with hidden weapons. Ji-hee shakes her head, he's only half right. Yeah, the technique exists, but she clarifies it's actually high-level aura manipulation, not just throwing sharp objects. When Masters of Transcendence throw down, it's a battle of pure energy, because regular steel just bounces off aura body armor like it's made of rubber. Our MC instantly clocks the logic. It doesn't matter if you fire 1,000 daggers. Without aura, you're doing 0 damage. However, the Dang clan has a cheat code, a storm of hidden weapons infused with aura, specifically designed to shred through the defenses of Transcendence Masters. He realizes that other moves like the Wild Dance or Scattered Iron are trash tier by comparison, but maintaining that kind of high-level output is exhausting even for a pro. Suddenly, Ji-hee catches him, trying to do the math in his head. She drops the secret. It's all about the hidden energy presence technique. To pull this off, you have to funnel every ounce of your internal mana flow into just one of the 12 energy channels. Then you lock it down with core energy, sealing the channel tight to create a perfect mana battery. This bluff is so good it even fools Masters of Transcendence. Sure, your active power level looks pitifully low, but anyone with real skill knows the exploit refill the tank. By looping the process 12 times, once every channel is sealed, that concentrated core energy fuses together to form the ultimate defense, aura body armor. Ji-hee hypes up the Dragon Scale variant, which is basically the premium upgrade, way tougher than the standard armor, literal dragon hide durability. Yang Yang rolls his eyes. Fire Dragon, Poison Dragon Scale. Why is everything branded with dragon around here? His mom cuts in. Sealing those channels isn't just for tanking hits. If you pop all 12 seals simultaneously, boom, you unlock a temporary buff that spikes your power 10 times beyond your natural limit. When our boy asks if the Rain of a Million Flowers requires that full release, she sighs. It's way more complicated. There were crucial instruction manuals for the hidden energy technique, but they got destroyed during the war with the demons of vast heavens. Even the oral traditions died out when the last 2 elders passed away. But looking at him, Ji-hee smirks. She knows her son is going to figure it out because he's her pride and joy. Our hero grins back, thinking, yeah, the Poisonous Phoenix's kid is built different. Cut to Yang Yang mastering the hidden energy presence technique like a speedrunner. Sitting at his desk, he figures out a hack. Chugging poison is the fastest way to recharge his sealed mana. Normal people call it toxic, but for him it's basically an XP potion. He resolves to hit up Jun for some high-grade venom. Suddenly, his thoughts are shattered by a frantic knock. The guard bursts in. The young lord has an emergency visitor. Mirio crashes into the room screaming for help. Yang Yang is startled, asking what the hell is happening, and she drops the bomb. Her sister is on death's door. Yang Yang immediately asks if Mirio needs a rush delivery to the Hall of Remedies. But Mirio is sobbing. They've been there, done that a dozen times. The doctors are useless because her sister isn't sick with something medicine can fix. Our hero guesses internal trauma, but Mirio corrects him. It's the curse of the 9 yin channels blockage. Actually, the North Sea Ice Palace uses this exact mechanic for their cryo martial arts. The Ice Palace crew turned their natural yin energy into a weapon. For them, it was a blessing and a unique racial skill. As they sprint outside, the duo discusses the dark side. If you have the genes, but don't practice the ice arts, your body starts shutting down from energy blockage. He connects the dots. Wait, are you guys descendants of the North Sea Ice Palace? She nods. Distant relatives, not direct bloodline. Centuries ago, Ice Palace refugees settled in Sashion and married into the Dang clan. The legend says you can cure the blockage by learning ice martial arts. But this is the Poison Clan. They only teach toxins and hidden weapons. They have 0 ice manuals left. The techniques their ancestors brought over are lost to history. Now the energy blockage strikes like a genetic time bomb every few generations, and Mirio's sister is the latest victim. Before Yang Yang can respond, Mirio skids to a halt. They're here. Inside, the vibe is chilling. Her sister is fading fast, literally freezing, solid eyes shut tight, trapped in a coma she can't wake up from. The air in the room is heavy, radiating a bone-chilling frost that cuts right through the skin. Our hero shivers and turns to Mirio, who's already drowning in tears. He keeps it real with her. He can't promise a happy ending here. The diagnosis is brutal. Her sister has burned through nearly all her innate core energy. She's been using it to seal her meridians and hold back the ice, but she is officially running on empty. It's gotten so desperate that she literally pulled the plug on her own consciousness, entering a self-induced coma just to focus on defense. Mirio is a wreck, sobbing as she asks if there's any hope left. Silence hangs in the air before our guy drops the bombshell. There is one move they can try. He can try to purge the frost using raw external force. But let's be clear, this is a massive gamble. Her body might shatter under the pressure, and if it goes wrong, that lethal cold could backlash and take him out too. Mirio freezes, picturing the nightmare scenario. Yanmyong frowns, hating the odds. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place, knowing a reckless move could kill them all. But with his friend's sister on the line, he steps back. This isn't his call to make. He looks at Mirio and demands an answer. What do we do? Do they stall and look for another cure or pull the trigger on this risky procedure? Mirio gasps for air, realizing they are completely out of options. Heart pounding, she decides she can't let her sister fade away without a fight, even though she knows she's asking our boy to walk into the fire. Desperate, she begs him to save her. Instantly, our protagonist starts removing the sister's clothes. Mirio flinches. Whoa, wait, is that really necessary? Turning a bit red, he clarifies that the fabric acts as a barrier. If he wants to extract the cold, he needs 0 interference. He doubles down, insisting that a moment of awkwardness is a small price to pay to keep her death. That's the only option if he fails. He initiates the extraction sequence inside his mind, scanning the layout. He skips the forehead, not a critical hit point, and dives straight for the heart. For a split second, he feels awkward about the placement, but the frost bites back hard. The cold energy rejects the extraction, instantly turning half our hero's body into a block of ice. Mirio panics, but Yeonmyeong grits his teeth, telling her he's holding the line. He's managed to drain 6 channels, but his own tank is redlining. His body can't handle this much thermal shock. If he keeps going, he's going to freeze to death. He mutters, "Man, this would be a cakewalk if it was just poison." Then a light bulb goes off. Flashback to his grandfather, dropping wisdom on why poison forms in the heavenly orbs. Medicine and poison, 2 sides of the same coin, kid. When anything exceeds human limits, it becomes toxic. Our boy realizes that even yang energy, the stuff of life, turns into fire poison if you overdose on it. So this bone-crushing chill, it's just ice poison. He immediately triggers the Azure Pool of Poison technique. Boom. It reacts instantly. The cold energy might try to fight back, but once the system flags it as poison, it's game over. It's no longer a threat. The ice on his body begins to shatter and melt. As his Azure Pool vacuums up every drop of the freezing power, Miso feels the warmth flood back, snaps her eyes open, and lets out a terrified scream. Mirio rushes in, and the sisters dissolve into a puddle of tears and hugs. Mirio speedruns the explanation, and Miso realizes she owes the young lord her entire existence. Mirio throws a side eye at the young lord's hand still resting on her sister, but Miso shuts her down. He's still cooking. Let him finish. Inside Miso's energy flow, our boy realizes he hit the jackpot. This isn't just cold, it's a high-grade elixir. It's way more juice than he needs, and instead of letting the excess fade, he decides to get greedy and fuel his hidden energy presence technique. He pushes the limit, wondering how many channels he can max out. Eyes open. Shock. He just unlocked 4 channels. That is a massive power-up 4 times his previous capacity. He's strategizing how to maintain this new level with poison consumption when reality hits him. His hand, it is still on Miso. He yanks it back like he touched a hot stove. But Miso, she is cool as a cucumber. She knows the score thanks to her sister. She thanks him profusely, and he plays the humble just doing my duty card. Suddenly the door flies open. Dad barges in, sees his daughter exposed, and absolutely loses his mind. He is seeing red and demands to know what is going on. Our hero drops into a deep bow, apologizing like his life depends on it, admitting, the situation looks super sketchy. But then, the father collapses, into tears. The rage was just fear. He is sobbing with relief. He explains his backstory met, his wife settled with the Dang clan, thought he had it made. But the energy blockage took his wife, and he went broke trying to stop it from taking his daughters too. Every cure failed. Until now. He cries, swearing eternal loyalty to our boy for breaking the family curse. Yeonmyeong brushes it off, staying humble. Then he drops a comment, this place is awfully quiet for a merchant guild. The dad sighs. Since the Dang clan and the dark unorthodox coalition went under, the economy crashed. They can't even step outside the city walls. The young lord nods, filing that intel away for later, saying he has moves to make. He tries to dip, but the sisters block his path for round 2 of gratitude. Miso is back, looking like a total goddess in a new dress, thanking him for saving her life. Our protagonist turns bright red and scrambles to leave. Miso watches him go, looking worried. He seemed kind of out of it. She asks Mirayo, do you think he burned himself out healing me? Mirayo smirks, teasing her. You sure you aren't just sad he is leaving? Miso jumps, blushing hard. Was it that obvious? Mirayo nods and Miso buries her face in her hands. Mirayo comforts her, saying anyone would fall for a hero, adding that her sister is the prettiest girl in the world. But internally, Mirayo is grinning. She saw Yeonmyeong's face. That boy was looking at Miso like she was the only star in the sky. The feeling is definitely mutual. Meanwhile, walking home, our boy is down bad. He is already scripting the whole life movie marriage with Miso, a son training arcs. Marrying the kid off, bouncing grandchildren on his knee. He catches himself blushing. Grandkids, seriously. He chuckles, realizing he never thought he'd catch feelings, but maybe he craves that normal life after all. He is eager for the next date. But then, the mood shifts. He remembers what the dad said about the outside world. His mind locks onto Giljun-yu, the lord of the dark unorthodox coalition. It is time to handle business. The demon lord of vast heavens might be on the sidelines, but don't get it twisted, the danger is still very real. After the heir selection drama, our hero knows the score. Sharing Sacheon with these guys is like sitting on a powder keg waiting to blow. Cut to the Heartfire sect, deep in the dark unorthodox coalition's turf. Seol-yoon is chilling, listening to a report. A scout is rambling about the Dang clan's insane power-up, but she just takes a loud, crunchy bite of her apple. She's barely listening, totally zoned out. But inside her head, Giljun's icy warning to stay in her lane is playing on loop. She also remembers the Jaeob Chobong sect leader telling her to cool it until the big boss's temper settles down. Splat. In a sudden rage, she chucks the apple right at the messenger's face. She is sick of being told to do absolutely nothing. She knows the Dang clan's new leader and heir have both hit transcendence level. She's chewing her nails to the quick, seething with anxiety. It is eating her alive that she can't get payback for Inhumag and Yeon Sangjong yet. But then she freezes. She remembers her lord's orders. Invite the Dang clan's young lord to the Sacheon banquet. A wicked smirk spreads across her face. The banquet isn't just a party, it is the perfect trap. Patience isn't her vibe, but revenge is. She whispers that every time she closes her eyes, Inhu is there, screaming at her to settle the score. Her eyes light up with madness. To calm her own rage, she decides she needs to wipe every single member of the Dang clan off the map. She shoots a death glare at the messenger. Ignoring his begging, she incinerates him right where he stands. Now, Seol-yoon is ready to cook up a nightmare for our boy. Meanwhile, we cut to a tense meeting with Ji-hyuk, the ex-captain of the Poison Lord unit. He asks the second elder, what's the play here? The elder admits they are bleeding out since Ji-hae took the throne, but then, he snaps back asking why Ji-hyuk is even asking him. He reminds the captain that this mess is entirely on him and his son. He points a shaky finger at Munchan, screaming, why did you pick a fight with a monster way out of your league? He accuses the father-son duo of basically flushing his life's work down the drain. The tension in the room is thick. Munchan is fuming. He hates being talked down to like this, especially right in front of the clan leader. In his head, he is cursing our boy Yeonmyeong, swearing he will get his get back the second his arm heals up. Ji-hyuk ignores the insults and presses the issue again, admitting they are struggling just to keep their private squads paid and fed. The second elder clenches his fist, eyes dead serious. Then we leave. We walk away from the clan. Fast forward to the next day. Our hero pulls up to the Vault of Ultimate Poisons. This is the heavy-duty zone where the 10 poisons and other lethal toxins live. He remembers this used to be the Third Elder's playground before he got fired. Now, it belongs to him and the Hall of Dark Poison. The guards at the gate bow low, showing major respect to their young lord. Before he steps in, a guard hands him a poison-repelling orb. It is supposed to filter the toxic air inside. The idea is to keep it in your mouth, to stay safe. But our protagonist just looks at it and says, "Nah, I'm good." The guard panics. Yeonmyeong shakes his head, pointing out the obvious, that thing has been in a lot of mouths. He knows the Third Elder used it. The guard insists it is sanitized and begs him to use it even if he is immune, but, bam. Our boy decks the guard, sending him and the germ orb flying. With that handled, Yeonmyeong strolls into the vault. Inside, it is pristine. He nods, realizing this is where the legendary 10 poisons are kept. He finally gets why the guard was tripping. If a normal warrior walked in here, they would drop dead instantly. Even though his energy is suppressed, by the hidden energy presence technique, the air is spicy. But thanks to his azure pool of poison mist mastery, this toxic wasteland feels like a spa day. He takes a deep breath, letting the poison heal him like therapy. His internal energy starts spiking, but it is not enough for a full recharge. The fastest way would be to chug something, as potent as the 10 poisons, but then he remembers clan law forbids using the stash for personal gains. Major buzzkill. He kicks himself for not asking Yijun for the recipe earlier. Suddenly his senses tingle. Something is off. The air is glitching where he stands. He squints and realizes it is an illusion barrier. But why is there a barrier in their poison vault? And it is definitely not the Jagal clan's style. Only one way to find out. He slashes through the barrier and uncovers a hidden passage, lining the walls. Our creepy paper talismans for sealing. Yeonmyeong recognizes this immediately. This isn't Jagal tech. This is the work of mystic practitioners. In his past life, his master knew a few of these wizards. They were obsessed with magic, the same way his master was obsessed with the sword. These guys wanted to become immortal spirits by mastering spells. Our hero gets a flashback to when his master used to throw him into their illusion traps, just for training. He'd stumbled into a realm of bizarre entities unlike anything he'd ever faced. One thing's for sure, these mystic types only lift a finger if there's something in it for them. That's what makes this so weird. Why would they waste time setting up a barrier inside a toxic poison vault? Flashback time. Yeonmyeong's master once dropped some truth bombs. Mystic practitioners are selfish narcissists who'd sell their souls to ghouls, just to chase immortality. Master even bragged that his secret to befriending them involved beating them to a pulp every single day, until they finally cracked and spilled the beans. Honestly, nobody made friends quite like his master. His unconventional networking skills imply one thing: the Dang clan is hiding something massive enough to grab their attention. As Yeonmyeong scans the area, he spots it something so incredibly toxic that lethal fumes are literally bleeding into the air. Despite the hundreds of containment talismans plastered everywhere, a smirk creeps across his face. He came here hunting for the 10 poisons recipe, but it looks like he just hit the jackpot with something way more interesting. Curiosity piqued, he steps into the corridor. Meanwhile, deep inside, a presence senses an intruder and realizes it's not the shadowless visitor. They've lost track of time in the darkness, but right now they don't care who it is, they just want our boy to set them free. Yeonmyeong locates the 10th poison, a legendary artifact he thought was lost to history. The jar is completely plastered with talismans, but as he reaches out, wondering what kind of nightmare fuel requires this level of security, a resistance spell slams into him like a wall. He gauges the spell's power. This isn't going to be a walk in the park. But he's not backing down. Focusing his will, he starts slicing through the talismans one by one, aiming to strip the jar bare. With surgical precision, he severs the seals, wiping sweat from his brow. Maintaining the hidden energy presence technique is draining his stamina faster than usual. Under normal circumstances, he'd breeze through this. But as the talismans drift to the floor, the air gets heavy with suffocating poison. He places a hand on the jar, ready to unveil the horror within. Meanwhile, inside that ceramic prison, a dark spirit feels the shackles shatter. Light floods in. Boom, a massive explosion rocks the room, blasting our hero backward. Before he can even regain his footing, a tentacle-like appendage shoots out, aiming for his throat. Instinct kicks in. He tries to intercept it, but the creature is faster, clamping onto his arm. The black spirit cackles, impressed by his reflexes, but promises a painless death as a thank you for the jailbreak. When Yeonmyeong demands to know what the hell it is, the spirit manifests as the blue-horned white snake, introducing itself as the pinnacle of venom. Yeonmyeong freezes, realizing he's staring down the physical embodiment of goo poison itself. The white snake nods, arrogantly admitting that sealing his shoulder's energy channel was a slick move, but taunts him, asking how long he thinks he can hold out. With a twisted grin, the goo poison incarnate bets his arm is going to melt into a puddle any second. But That confidence evaporates instantly when it sees poison lust inhaling the toxic mist like it's fresh air. The white snake panics, demanding to know his connection to the shadowless visitor. Our hero grips the snake tight, revealing he's the descendant of that very legend. The dynamic shifts immediately. The snake starts trembling, begging our protagonist to deactivate his poison absorption before it gets completely drained and dies. But Yang Myung isn't in a forgiving mood. He squeezes harder, deciding to suck every ounce of power out of this thing. As the extraction begins, the white snake loses its mind, and in a desperate bid for survival, proposes a deal. Our boy pauses, letting the terrified creature plead its case. The snake claims its only wish is freedom, and swears that if he spares its life, it'll serve him as a loyal familiar. Yang Myung looks intrigued, prompting the snake to double down. Trust me, kid, you won't regret this. It explains that bonding will skyrocket his energy levels thanks to its venomous power. Internally, our protagonist knows it's right. Not even the fire carp's orb or the fire dragon's breath packed this kind of punch. The absorbed energy is already surging past his limits. Sensing his hesitation, the white snake pitches the ultimate offer. It can act as an infinite battery of poison energy. It asks innocently, wouldn't that be better than just eating me all at once? But our hero shakes his head cold as ice. Keeping a threat alive isn't my style. I can find poison anywhere. The white snake breaks down, tears welling up in its eyes. It wails about staring at a dark wall for decades inside that jar. Turning on the waterworks, it gives him the ultimate puppy dog eyes, insisting it physically can't disobey him once the pact is sealed. After a tense silence, Yang Myung decides to roll the dice, but he warns it. One wrong move and you're history. The snake nods furiously. Then our boy asks the million-dollar question. How do we do this, admitting he's clueless about mystic arts? The snake glows, manifesting a glowing thread of a soul. It explains that once he grabs it, their souls will be locked together, binding the snake to him forever. Without hesitation, Yang Myung grabs the thread. Outside the vault, the tension is thick. The guards are pacing, whispering about how long their young lord has been locked inside. They're starting to lose their cool. Did something go wrong? One wants to breach the door, but the other snaps back. Entry is strictly forbidden. Screw the rules. The healthy guard pops the protective orb into his mouth, fully aware he's asking for a world of pain later. But facing punishment beats letting their future clan leader die on their watch. Before they can take a single step, boom! Blinding energy explodes from the vault. The ground quakes and the heavy door groans open. One guard stammers, asking if the young lord is alive, while the other just stares jaw-dropped, watching him literally glow. Later, Yang Myung tests out his new power Aura Body Armor Dragon Scale Edition. Unlike the basic stuff, this feels like legitimate heavy-duty plating. A smirk creeps onto his face. Thanks to bonding with the white snake, he has maxed out all 12 energy channels. Still, he needs to chill. Walking around radiating this much power is painting a giant target on his back. He's already turned enough heads just getting back here. Time to go stealth mode. Suddenly, the white snake manifests, totally confused. Why do you care what these peasants think? The shadowless visitor never hid his strength. Our hero ignores the lecture and flicks the snake away like a bug. Stay out of sight. Ouch. Rubbing the spot, the snake grumbles that nobody can see it unless it wants them to. It adds that flaring that aura isn't bad, it scares off the weaklings. Yeon Myung isn't having it. He wants a low-key life this time around. But the snake catches that slip-up. This time, you're talking like you've done this before, the snake observes. I seriously doubt normal is in the cards for you. The young lord demands an explanation. The creature gets serious, unlimited power always comes with a catch. It was the same for the shadowless visitor. If you possess that kind of strength, fate has you on a leash. Yeon Myung smirks, noting his ancestor controlled it just fine. That hits a nerve. The snake looks ready to snap. Don't get me started, it hisses. That man worked me like a rented mule. Then, thinking the snake was too dangerous, the ancestor had a mystic seal it in a jar. Just thinking about the betrayal makes the spirit steam with rage. While the snake throws its tantrum, our hero goes quiet. The involvement of mystic practitioners. It's finally making sense. The white snake isn't a pet. It's a higher dimensional being. So why didn't the mystics try to tame it themselves? Why help his ancestor seal it away instead? Was his ancestor just like the previous master? And was Yeon Myung born this way for a specific purpose? Maybe it's tied to his past life. Crash. A guard bursts into the room, gasping for air. Urgent news. The young lord shoves the snake out of sight. Speak. The guard reports the road between Sichuan and the clan is swarming with unorthodox sect warriors. Cut to the battlefield. Hyunsu is wheezing, chest heaving. He and his uncle are cornered. The enemy leader sneers at the Gongdong sect masters. Lost. This is dark unorthodox territory now. He claims Sichuan belongs to them. Beside Hyunsu, Tae-hyo is in bad shape, bleeding out. Run. Tae-hyo rasps. Leave me. But Hyunsu shakes his head. He can't fight this mob alone, but he won't bail. He scans the crowd. Hundreds of warriors led by the monster from Mokyeong Palace, Taeshonjang. With Tae-hyo crippled, it's game over. Taechon smirks. You were running to the Dang clan for help, weren't you? Too bad. The Dang clan has been cut off since the new lord took over Sichuan. He laughs a cruel sound. My lord will pay handsomely for your heads. Maybe I'll keep you alive. Minus a limb or two. Just then, a shadow falls over the scene. Yun Myung has entered the chat. As his guard points the way, our hero squints. Who's who? His men identify the Gongdong sect victims. That makes the other guys the unorthodox scum. Go, he orders his guards. Back up the Gongdong masters. Hyun-soo spots the reinforcements. Dang clan, finally. But his heart sinks. There are only a few of them against an army. Our protagonist steps into the light. Seeing Tae-hyo on death's door, he snaps his fingers. Stabilize him. A guard blurs into motion, catching Tae-hyo before he falls. Hyun-soo is stunned. This isn't the help he expected. The guard offers a calm smile. Hyun-soo stammers. There are at least 200 of them chasing us. Relax, the guard says, cool as ice. Just sit back and watch the show. Taechon narrows his eyes. Who's the kid? One of his lackeys whispers the intel. That's the survivor of the Dang clan's heir selection. The new young Lord Taechon sneers, sizing him up. Look at him. Just a pretty boy. He keeps preaching about gratitude, demanding they thank the Lord for showing mercy now that they've crossed the line. Taechon vows to school them on respect, but before he can even finish his monologue, he slumps right off his mount, leaving his squad totally paralyzed. Meanwhile, Yun Young ice cold. He casually digs a finger in his ear, acting like Taechon's rant was nothing but noise pollution. The enemy troops freeze in confusion, and even Hyun-soo is baffled. Finally, our hero dares the rest of them to step up. If they want to teach a lesson, bring it on. But let's be real, he is about to end their whole career. The unorthodox troops just gawk at their fallen boss, whispering, "Is he actually gone?" Then one grunt spots it, a tiny poison needle buried deep in the guy's skull. He panics, asking when Yun Young even threw it. I didn't even see him twitch, another soldier cries out. Too late. Instantly, our boy whips out a fistful of needles and launches a deadly volley at the opposing side before anyone can blink. Bodies drop like flies as the technique lands one after another. But here is the kicker our young lord notes. He didn't even dip those needles in venom, yet the targets are foaming at the mouth regardless. Right then, the white snake pipes up, explaining its own toxic aura soaked into the metal way too potent for average Joes to handle. Yan Young smirks, teasing that the little reptile is finally proving to be worth the trouble, which obviously ticks the snake off. Nearby, Hyun-soo is sweating bullets, stunned by this lethal display. It clicks in his head this kid must be the one who soloed the entire Taeul Black Sword sect. The surviving unorthodox goons finally grasp the situation. This guy just wiped out hundreds of them in one breath. It doesn't compute. They heard the Dang clan was on life support, yet now they are staring down a legit demon. One guy grips his axe, convincing himself. Our hero must be running on fumes. Unless he is a transcendence master, he has got to be tapped outright. Betting on that logic, the soldier screams die and rushes in for the kill. Big mistake. Our young lord activates the dragon scale technique and shatters the incoming axe with his bare hand. The enemy freezes brain, unable to process his weapon, turning to dust. Zero hesitation, our protagonist unleashes the legendary Rain of Flowers, throwing the battlefield into absolute chaos. At the same time, watching from the sidelines, Hyun-soo realizes the rumors were trash. The Dang clan hasn't lost its touch, he admits. They are back lethal as ever and ready to go toe-to-toe with the unorthodox sect. Yun Young locks eyes with him, snapping Hyun-soo out of his trance. Stuttering, the observer admits he simply cannot look away from such high-level moves. Our hero coolly suggests they head back to Dang HQ to debrief on the slaughter. Hyun-soo nods, glancing one last time at the mountain of corpses, deciding it is definitely better to be on this guy's good side than end up part of the scenery. Rewind a few days. Outside Sichuan's walls, Hyun-soo was breathing easy, telling his sect uncle. He was glad they arrived safely, despite the grim rumors about the Dang clan's downfall. The vibe was chill, but his uncle looked on edge. Out of nowhere, a guy in a bamboo hat manifests, asking how their lunch was. Hyun-soo freezes, he never even sensed this stranger approach, concluding immediately that this is no average fighter. His jaw drops when his uncle identifies the man as Gil Junyu. The stranger tips his hat, apologizing for the interruption, and asks what brings them to his Sichuan. Hyun-soo starts cold sweating. He is standing in front of the lord of the unorthodox coalition. Gil Junyu ignores the kid, pressing Tae-hyo on their mission. Someone of his rank isn't just out for a stroll. Tae-hyo stays frosty, claiming they have zero interest in the Dark Coalition, and counters asking why the lord is rolling solo. Gil shoots back, wondering if they think they can take him, just because he is alone. Tae-hyo flinches, trying to pull the respect your elders card, since he is twice Gil's age, but Gil just chuckles, flaring his aura, and asking if the old man really wants to go there. Tae-hyo warns that raw, internal energy decides, fights, not arrogance. He boasts about the Gongdong sect's power, asking if Gil thinks he can handle it. Hyunsu watches terrified, realizing his uncle is actually poking the bear. Gil Junyu laughs off the threat, calling Taeho arrogant. He reminds them that he crushed the other major sects a decade ago. The only reason Gongdong is still standing, they were lucky enough to be far away from his rampage. Gil Jun dipped out, dropping a cold ultimatum if Taeho wasn't ready to face the truth he could pull up for a quick lesson in pain. Hyunso scrambled to de-escalate the situation, but his uncle wasn't hearing it. Pride on the line, Taeho rose to his feet, dead set on clapping back at Gil Jun to prove his martial arts supremacy. Cutting back to the present, Hyunso breaks it down. That's exactly how his sect uncle ended up throwing hands with the lord of the unorthodox coalition. But to Yeon Myung, this didn't sound like friendly practice. Hyunso shudders, admitting they were hunted down afterward, calling Giljun a straight-up nightmare. The duel had raged on both fighters, trading blows at speeds so blinding even Hyunso couldn't track the movement. Taeho finally landed a heavy critical hit, but Giljun just scoffed, asking if that was his limit. Triggered, Taeho clenched his jaw and began channeling the true raw power of the demon-suppressing sword technique. Watching from the sidelines, Hyunso thought his uncle had the W secured until he caught Giljun smirking and deflecting the strike at the literal last second. Desperate, Taeho unleashed his ultimate enlightenment. Conversely, Giljun grinned, finally getting the front row seat to full power destruction he wanted. A massive explosion rocked the area, leaving Hyunso paralyzed as he watched his uncle drop the ultimate nuke. As the dust settled, Taeho declared victory over Giljun. But before anyone could pop the champagne, Giljun walked out of the smoke without a scratch. Taeho and Hyunso froze in pure horror. Giljun simply noted he expected nothing less from elite royalty of the 9 great sects, acknowledging the art's masterful manipulation of aura. Hyunso's brain couldn't process Giljun tanking that hit. Suddenly, Taeho violently shoved Hyunso out of the way, just as Giljun fired back with his own devastating move, dubbing it the righteous suppressing divine technique. Yeonmyung needs to verify if Giljun actually hijacked the Gongdong sect's arts. Hyunso confirms it was a twisted remix of their technique. The energy signature was different, but the mechanics were identical to the demon-suppressing sword's ultimate enlightenment, except this version was on a whole other level of power. If Taeho hadn't burned his remaining internal energy to tank that shot, Hyunso would be dead right now. Our hero drifts into deep focus, realizing Taeho was a legitimate master of transcendence. But the real plot twist: Giljun analyzed, copied, and upgraded the technique after seeing it exactly one time. That means he decoded a master-level art during a single brawl. Shifting gears, Hyunso clasps his hands, confessing the real reason he and his sect uncle showed up. He respectfully begs the Dang clan to back their sect in the looming war. He drops the lore on the demonic cult, a militarized fanatic group based in Shingang. Back in the day, this cult was OP enough to solo all 9 great sects and every clan in the Murim simultaneously. Even with the times changing, the righteous sects have never managed to lock them down, because the entire organization moves at the whim of one man, the demonic cult leader. But the board reset when the cult leader's son Young Hyuk Yeon stepped into the spotlight. With his rare heavenly martial body, he became a magnet for fanatics. And as a result, Young Hyuk took his squad and split to form a new faction, the Demons of Vast Heavens, preventing an internal civil war. Hyunso argues the window to attack the demonic cult is wide open now that they're heavy hitters left with Young Hyuk. The catch: the dark unorthodox coalition is planning to raid the Gongdong sect, while their main forces are deployed. It's a massive tactical issue. He adds that after witnessing our young lord's insane strength, he's convinced our boy is the only one who can keep the coalition off their turf. Therefore, Hyunso asks for our protagonist's aid. Shockingly, our hero hits him with an instant no, leaving Hyunso totally bewildered. Our boy doubles down on his lack of interest. Later word reaches Taeho that the young lord turned them down cold, and Hyunso mentions that Yeonmyung needs to run it by their clan leader before making the final call. Hyunso asks his sect uncle what the plan is if Yeonmyung refuses, and his uncle advises patience. Switching topics, Hyunso notes the Dang clan hits different than the story suggested. He's been analyzing them up close, the architecture, the aura of the warriors, the whole vibe, and it definitely doesn't look like a ruined clan. Taeho is convinced the Dang clan bounced back from their downfall. Their theory crafting gets cut short when Gi Hun pulls up announcing that Yeonmyung is ready to see them. Later, Hyunso and Taeho are shook to discover Jihae is the current head of the Dang clan. She welcomes them in, confirming she already got the briefing from our young lord. One look is all it takes for Taeho to clock that she's a certified master of transcendence. He's convinced she's the spark behind the Dang clan's resurrection, concluding the family is officially back on the map with their old-school power. Settling in Hyun, so drops the bomb, the Gongdong sect is on the ropes. As members of the Righteous Legion, they're desperate for the Dang clan's muscle to push back against the coalition and the demonic hordes. Silence hangs in the air until Jihae turns to her son, still holding your ground. When our hero refuses to budge, Hyunso demands a reason, warning that inaction lets the demonic cult torch the entire world. Our boy counters sure the cult is a nightmare, but the coalition, that's a different story. He's never watched the coalition hurt a single soul in Sashion. Yeah, they collect protection money, but they actually use it to keep people safe, just like the so-called righteous sects. Bottom line, attacking the coalition makes zero sense. Then our hero's expression darkens. As he brings up his time in the Righteous Legion, he recounts when the dark unorthodox coalition crushed the other righteous sects and when the demons of vast heavens slaughtered his clan. Where was the backup? Nowhere. He gets it. Everyone looks out for their own blood first. But using the demonic cult to guilt-trip the Dang clan into fighting, that's twisted. He asks if they think the Dang clan is blind to the truth. They're only begging for help because their own necks are on the chopping block next. Hyunso's fist tightens, silently admitting that Yeonmyeong hit the nail on the head. They preach about the greater good, but at the end of the day, they only move when the fire reaches their doorstep. Suddenly, Taeho switches tactics. He apologizes for their arrogance, admitting it was out of line to ask the Dang clan to bleed for them after everything they've suffered. But Taeho doubles down, insisting on a deal they're willing to pay up. Our young lord's gaze softens. He's listening now. Hyunso flashes a relieved smile, ready to talk troop numbers, but our protagonist shuts him down cold. He doesn't care about logistics. He wants to know the price tag. Later, Hyunso looks shell-shocked, reeling from the fact that they just signed away years of sect maintenance fees. Taeho remains cool. It's a bargain, if it keeps the sect alive. Besides, Yeonmyeong wouldn't charge a premium if he couldn't deliver. Hyunso admits the young lord is strong, but Taeho cuts in, don't underestimate him. That kid might be deadlier than the Dang clan leader himself. Hyunso scoffs, claiming he'd sense that kind of power. But Taeho corrects him not, if someone is burying their true level, hiding it even from a master of transcendence. Our hero catches their whisper as they leave, stunned that Taeho suspected his hidden energy presence technique. He has to hand it to the guy. Taeho's intuition is terrifyingly sharp. Just then his mom corners him. She knows this wasn't just about the cash. Our protagonist shakes his head. It wasn't an impulse buy. Even though he defended the unorthodox coalition earlier, he doesn't trust them as far as he can throw them. His mother notes that Sashion burned even after the big sects fell. Yeonmyeong nods, but clarifies that was purely Yu Giljun's doing. He points out that these groups aren't unorthodox, just because they skip the club meetings. They're branded that way because they choose greed over honor. Basically, they're glorified bandits. Right now, Yu Giljun has them on a leash, but destruction is in their DNA. If Giljun vanishes, the unorthodox sects will tear Sashion apart piece by piece. Jihei sees the logic and asks for the play. Our hero flashes a wicked grin, saying he's going to keep the coalition so tied up they won't have time to look north. His mother hesitates, wondering if that's too heavy a load for their clan to carry alone. That's when our protagonist reveals he's going to rot them from the inside out. Jihei gasps, realizing he's walking straight into the lion's den. But she can't deny the strategy holds water. He calms her down. He's got a ticket in. The invitation to the banquet of Sashion. It's evolved from a party into a ruthless battleground. For the younger generation, the young lord is going there to judge their true colors. If he sees rot and cruelty, he'll wipe every last one of them off the map. Meanwhile, in a carriage rolling away, Chongshin warns a girl named Yeonmyeong to keep her cool. The clan's future is riding on her next move. Yeonmyeong just chuckles, assuring her uncle she's got this. She's going to make Yeonmyeong hers. No matter the vibe, Yi-yeon shows up clutching the healing goods meant to fast-track Taeho's recovery. Taeho chills in bed while Yi-yeon checks in on that nasty internal injury. Taeho beams, absolutely stoked to reveal he's feeling 1,000,000 times better. He hypes up his grandfather's remedy, calling it straight-up magical. He admits that when he first heard the concoction, mixed lethal poison with medicinal herbs, he was majorly skeptical. But hey, it worked like a charm on his insides. Seeing Taeho bounce back with such speed, Yi-yeon figures his return to the sect is imminent. A warm, satisfied smile spreads across Yi-yeon's face. Suddenly, a commotion erupts outside. Hyunso perks up, turning to Yi-yeon to ask what's going on. Yi-yeon breaks it down. The Jaegal clan just rolled up. They've got deep ties and a long history of friendship with the Dang clan. That explains why they were so eager to volunteer during the intense heir selection drama. But now, they're pitching a massive upgrade, installing a high-level illusion barrier around the clan's perimeter. Hyunso is shook. He knows the clans are tight, but he wonders if the Jaegal family can actually stomach that price tag, considering illusion barriers cost a fortune. Taeho asks if the Dang clan is splitting the bill, but Yi-yeon chuckles, dropping the bombshell that the Jaegal clan is footing the entire bill, 100%. He notes they've been suspiciously cooperative, leaving both Hyunso and Taeho floored, wondering what kind of leverage the Dang clan must have to score a deal like that. Outside, inside the carriage, Yeonmyeong's uncle is still sweating over our hero's terrifying icy glare from earlier. As they prepare to make their entrance, the uncle hesitates, asking if he can really bet everything on her. Young claps back with confidence, fully aware of her lethal charm as she hypes up her own beauty. Her uncle flashes back to her mother, his own sister, who once held the title of the most beautiful woman in all of Hobuk. He does the math and figures Young winning over our young lord should be a walk in the park. But his internal monologue gets dark. He recalls how over 10 years ago, the demons of vast heavens ambushed the Jegal clan because of his sister. She saved the clan by sacrificing herself, but the shame of being treated as a one-night plaything was too much. She took her own life. Now he swears to the heavens he won't let his clan suffer that nightmare again. He's convinced that if Young and our hero lock down a relationship, the Jegal clan's survival is guaranteed, thanks to the Dang clan's protection. Deep down, he sends a prayer for Young, knowing the clan's entire future rides on her shoulders. The doors swing open, and Jihei steps out to welcome them, mentioning she heard the Jegal clan's illusion field was the MVP during the selection process. Young and her uncle freeze, absolutely stunned, seeing Jihei for the first time. Jihei is beaming, chatting about the new defense barrier project. Changshin stares in disbelief, questioning if this youthful woman is really our young lord's mom. He privately notes that our boy definitely inherited those superior genes. He quickly snaps to attention, greeting Jihei and apologizing profusely for being out of the loop regarding the Dang clan's leadership change. Jihei coolly waves it off, explaining the Jegal clan wasn't around for her inauguration. She tells them to chill and rest after their long trip, earning sincere gratitude from Changshin. Jihei then spots the girl and asks for an intro. Changshin reveals it's his niece, brought along to forge an ironclad bond with the Dang clan. He gestures for his niece to say hello, but Young is blushing intensely, heart hammering in her chest the second she locks eyes with our protagonist. She's wondering how a human can be that handsome, and instantly decides he's husband material. Changshin has to hiss her name to snap her out of her thirst trance. She scrambles, bows, introduces herself, and congratulates Jihei on securing the clan leader seat. Jihei thanks her, calling her polite and predicting she'll be beating boys off with a stick in a few years. Jihei casually drops that she was also a baddie back in the day, remarking that Young gives off similar vibes to her younger self. Young insists Jihei is still stunning, admitting she legitimately thought Jihei was the young lord's older sister. Internally, Young is strategizing, planning to charm both the guy and his mom, seeing as she's gunning for that daughter-in-law spot. Jihei smiles, hoping she and her son hit it off since they're the same age. Young decides to play the sympathy card, filling her eyes with fake tears, sobbing about how her half-brother back home treated her like trash. She flutters her teary lashes, hoping to trigger our hero's protective instincts, only to find him yawning. Both she and her uncle are flabbergasted, seeing him practically falling asleep while she pours her heart out. Young can't compute this, since back home, boys are obsessed with her. Suddenly, her confidence takes a massive hit. Meanwhile, our young lord's head is empty, just thinking about Miso. Young clenches her fists, humiliated that our hero didn't even glance her way. Jihei immediately scolds her son for his lack of manners. Now Young makes a silent vow to make this boy simp for her, whatever it takes. Meanwhile, deep in inner Sacheon City, in the territory of the dark unorthodox coalition, the streets are buzzing with whispers that our main character is crashing the banquet of Sacheon. The gossip mill doubts the rival factions will let this slide. Turns out the Heartfire sect has transformed into the HQ for this massive event. Inside the war room, Seo Yoon breaks down the intel. Page 1 is the massive price tag for the party, and right behind it is the VIP list of every clan showing up for the throwdown. Myung-gil, one of the 6 great unorthodox leaders, pipes up, noting that the Chonjin sect was supposed to run the show this year, but now Heartfire is calling the shots. Seo Yoon shrugs, saying she's just executing the boss's orders. Another leader cracks up, joking that their lord just peeled out of there without even glancing at the paperwork. Someone else chimes in that the guy is a total wildcard, and wonders when he'll finally stop acting like a kid. Suddenly, the doors fly open. A little girl bursts in, shouting uncles to the terrifying warlords. The tiny dynamo announces she's crashing the party too. She tackles Myung-gil with a hug, and he asks why. The sudden interest, considering she was a homebody last year. The girl lights up, spilling the tea. She heard the lord of the Tang clan is on the guest list, and apparently he's such a heartthrob that women drop just looking at him. Myung-gil tries to tell her the rumors are hype, but she's not hearing it. She's already decided if the guy is real, she's putting a ring on it. She hits him with the puppy dog eyes, asking to go. Myung-gil caves immediately, knowing there's no stopping her once she's in fangirl mode. In the corner, Seo Yoon flashes a sinister smirk as a plan starts cooking in her brain. Myung-gil realizes nobody has the spine to tell the kid no. Cut to the dark unorthodox coalition. Mirio is brushing Miso's hair, marveling at how silky it is, despite Miso being stuck in bed forever. While she styles, she drops a bomb. Someone compared Miso to Yeon the other day. She's about to dig deeper but pivots teasingly, asking her sister for the truth about her feelings for the young lord. Miso turns into a tomato, instantly panic written all over her face. She stammers, asking where that came from. Mirio grins like a Cheshire cat, pointing out that Miso's breathing hitched the second she said his name. Flustered, Miso snaps back, asking if that's why Mirio is training so hard. Just to stalk people's breathing patterns, Mirio tells her to stay sharp. She drops the news. Yeon Myung is heading to the banquet of Sashion, which means he's going off the grid for a while. Miso freaks out. The banquet is a shark tank of villains, way too risky. But Mirio is worried about a different kind of danger. What if he hits it off with some other girl at the party? She asks if Miso can handle that, and Miso's expression crashes. The thought is a nightmare. So Mirio makes the executive decision they are crashing the banquet themselves. She grabs Miso's hand, drowning out her protests, and promises she has a master plan to make it work. Later, Yeonyeon shoots her shot, asking our hero to let her tag along as his personal attendant. She's got her ear to the ground. Rumor has it, there's a tournament for the future of Sakyeon. She's dying to see how the power struggle plays out. Our boy sighs, admitting he gets a +2, 1 attendant, 1 bodyguard. But he warns her this isn't a vacation, it's business. On the outside, she nods, but inside, Yeonyeon is doing a victory dance, ready to win his heart. Suddenly, the door creaks open. It's Mirio. He glances over, cool as ice. He already sensed the intrusion. Mirio struts in, gripping her sister's arm, declaring she has a proposition. But she freezes when she spots Yeonyeon already camped out. The tension in the room instantly spikes to high voltage. They glare at each other, basically demanding credentials. Meanwhile, the young lord is just wondering why Miso is there. Mirio doesn't blink. She confidently states that she and Miso are joining his squad for the banquet. Yang looks baffled. He asks if she's seriously suggesting he hire her as muscle and Miso as the maid. Mirio pats Miso's shoulder, nodding. She claims he definitely needs staff, and they are the perfect duo for the job. Yang is trying to calculate Mirio's angle here, but Yeonyeon notices Mirio is acting way too comfortable with the boss. Then she looks at Miso, and realizes the girl is stunning, rivaling the clan leader in looks. Internally, Yeonyeon is biting her nails. Her romantic master plan is toast if he takes this beauty along. Shockingly, our boy agrees to take Mirio as the bodyguard, but he drops the hammer he can't take Miso. The attendant slot is already booked. Mirio is fuming. She issues an ultimatum, no Miso, no Mirio. Yeonyeon starts blushing, realizing she is the booked slot. Our hero doesn't flinch. He calmly tells Mirio that if she walks, he'll just hire someone else. Miso's eyes well up with tears. Crushed, she tries to play it cool, whispering that it's fine. Tears stream down her face, betraying her words. As she chokes out a lie, she claims she's fine, forcing a smile because the young lord decided she's unnecessary. She tries to play the martyr, but Mirio isn't having it. She shoots a death glare at Yeon Myung that could freeze hell over, and drags him outside for a little chat. Away from prying eyes, Mirio gives credit where it's due, admitting the guy is a combat genius with god-tier instincts, but she can't wrap her head around how he can be such a clueless brick when dealing with ladies, literally grinding her teeth in frustration. She thinks he's spitting on their goodwill, demanding to know why he's rejecting Miso, when she basically served him a golden opportunity on a silver platter. It was the perfect setup for a romance arc, and he's fumbling the bag hard, but then he hits her with a reality check. The MC drops the bomb. This isn't a party, it's a potential bloodbath, where the wildest rookies of the unorthodox sects are about to clash. He's terrified that while he and Mirio are busy throwing hands, Miso will be left defenseless in the crossfire. He hits Mirio with the hard question. Who's gonna take the fall, if Miso gets hurt or worse? They're walking straight into the dark unorthodox coalition's turf, and Miso is still rocking barely half her HP bar from her recovery. It's a suicide mission for her, and Mirio finally realizes he's right, grudgingly agreeing to step in as his +1 instead. Yeon Myung looks confused since she swore she wouldn't go without Miso, but Mirio cuts him off with a shout, admitting she can't trust him alone, with that femme fatale waiting at the banquet. Cut to later that night. Chongshin is catching some Z's over his paperwork when our hero spawns out of thin air, catching the mage Lakin. The guy nearly jumps out of his skin, stammering that the illusion barrier is already cast, and he was just tweaking the settings. He promises completion by tomorrow evening, prompting the MC to activate his vision technique to inspect the work. Through his enhanced sight, he spots a massive, shimmering protective dome draped over the entire clan compound. Chongshin breaks it down, explaining that the defense grid covers everything from the Hall of Dark Poison all the way to the Executive Council. It's locked down tight. Remembering the brutal one-week deadline, Yeon Myung set. Chongshin sweats, hoping he passed the test until our boy gives him a reassuring pat on the shoulder, telling the mage he trusts him to handle the rest, leaving Chongshin tearing up because he was fishing for a thank you. Still, the kid nods, accepting the assignment. Afterward, the young lord cracks a rare, genuine smile, thinking that with the base secure, he can crash that banquet without looking over his shoulder. But first, there's one loose end to tie up. He summons the fourth elder Ji Ryong, dragging him there instantly. Ji-ryong looks shook surprised he got called in for a one-on-one. The MC brings up Ji-ryong's status as an elder, earned through his elite sword skills, and reveals that since he plans to master the blade himself, they need to talk. Flashback to the heir selection, the fourth elder confesses he's never even touched the level of flow that Yeonmyoung displayed, admitting he's still completely floored by the massive skill gap between them. Our boy doesn't sugarcoat it. He tells the old man that at his current level he wouldn't survive a single exchange. That's exactly why he's here. The MC offers to power level him, but this training comes with a price tag. He demands total submission. In exchange, he guarantees the fourth elder, a breakthrough he'll never find elsewhere. The question is, will he bend the knee? Scene shift. Hyun-soo is thanking the Dang clan, as he and Taehyo pack up to leave, expressing deep gratitude on behalf of the Gongdong sect for joining the raid. Taehyo chimes in, thanking them for patching up his internal injuries and promising he's just a call away if the Dang clan ever needs backup. Ji-hyun accepts the props and pledges soldiers and elders to help wipe out the demonic cult. Taehyo swears they won't forget this solid, shaking hands with Ji-hyun and promising to wire the payment as soon as they touch down at home. Then Taehyo turns to Yeonmyoung to thank the guy who saved them from becoming vulture food. As they shake hands, Taehyo predicts the young lord will surpass him in no time until suddenly a massive spike of internal energy from the boy hits him like a truck, making him flinch hard. Hyun-soo panics, asking if his sect uncle is okay, but Taehyo plays it cool and lies through his teeth, claiming he's just got the blues about leaving. But as they walk away, Taehyo knows deep down that power surge wasn't his imagination. He wonders how a kid can be that OP, realizing that Ji-hyun isn't the real reason the Dang clan is back on the map. It's all because of that monster, the young lord. Meanwhile, Ji-hyun rallies her troops, shouting their code repay favors twice over but exact revenge tenfold. She declares that by Dong clan law, loyalty is everything. Now that they've allied with the Gongdong sect, they ride together, die together. The entire squad, gray-haired veterans included, snaps to attention, accepting her command with a single thunderous shout. Ji-hee gives a sharp nod, wishing them good hunting before dismissing the formation. Ah-jong hands over a vial of that nasty intestine-scorching venom. Our hero grins, telling the guy he's a lifesaver as always. But there's a catch. Ah-jong tilts his head, genuinely baffled. Why does the kid always order the exact same lethal cocktail? Especially with an entire arsenal of toxins on the shelf, Yeonmyoung just smirks, claiming he's built up a tolerance. He knows this poison inside out. Nothing else hits quite the same. He shoots Ah-jong, a casual wave pivoting on his heel to head out. Ah-jong flashes a warm smile, shouting for him to make sure he comes back in one piece. But as our MC steps away, the white snake slithers out, hitting him with a weird question. You sure you're just a kid? Yeonmyoung raises an eyebrow, asking what that's supposed to mean. The snake doesn't hold back. It frankly admits the math isn't mathing. No teenager should be ripping out high-tier martial arts like that. The creature says he fights like some ancient grandmaster who spent 50 years polishing his craft. But then the snake drops a reality check. He's still barely scratching the surface of the shadowless visitor's level. Even though that sword flow he used to wreck the fourth elder was leagues above the scrub its former master battled. Our boy scoffs, clearly annoyed by the interrogation. He reminds the reptile that the coalition lord is a freak of nature who copies moves at a glance. So obviously, he can't afford to be anything less than a total prodigy to survive. He dismisses the snake's doubts as a waste of breath. The snake isn't buying it, sensing something's off. But the convo dies as Yeonmyoung hits the main gate where the crew is idling. Mirio flags him down, demanding to know what took so long. Yeonmyoung shrugs it off, just a quick pit stop to grab some venom from Ah-jong. He nods toward the guy standing center stage. The man bows deep, greeting the young lord before introducing himself as Gil-jong. He's their ticket to the city center. But before Yeonmyoung can even drop a thanks, Ji-hee steps into the light, checking if he's ready to roll. The group stiffens, saluting the clan leader, but Ji-hee waves off the ceremony. She knows the stakes are high right now. She promises to back her son's play, no matter how crazy the path gets, just begging him not to push his luck too far. Yeonmyoung gives her a respectful nod, assuring her he's inherited her grit. Ji-hee lets out a playful chuckle. You are the son of the poisonous phoenix after all. She turns to his squad, officially placing her boy's life in their hands. With a warm goodbye, she sends them off. Fast forward and the team rolls into Sacheon Hanyang. Mirio's eyes go wide, the place is buzzing. She notes the energy is totally different from her last trip. Yeonmyoung asks about her history here, and she puffs out her chest. She's been a regular. Back when her dad ran the merchant guild, they visited often. She brags that his operation used to be the heavyweight champ of Sacheon, but the unorthodox sects muscled in, and the business tanked. Our hero nods. He remembers her old man venting about that. Inside, Yeonmyoung is plotting. If the clan is going to blow up, they need their own economic engine. A merchant guild is mandatory. They can't run on stolen cash and remedy hall scraps forever. He needs a real revenue stream. He turns to Mirio with a mission, bring her dad to see him after the dust settles. He's going to put the man back on the throne of a new guild. Mirio loses it, screaming at him to swear he isn't joking. Meanwhile, just down the street, a lonely shopkeeper sits in despair. 0 customers all day. He's silently praying for just one client who actually knows a katana from a kitchen knife. As if on cue, our squad pulls up. Yang Yang peeks inside, asking if they're open for business. He wants to check the steel. The merchant clocks their unique drip and instantly perks up, welcoming them in with a practiced grin. He swears his blades are the city's top tier. Mirio frowns, asking Yumyong why he even needs a sword. His answer is simple. He figures carrying some extra steel couldn't hurt. He picks one up, inspecting the edge, and realizes the shopkeeper wasn't blowing smoke. The quality is legit, the aura, razor sharp. He tells the merchant straight up, these are top-notch works. The owner's eyes light up. You know your weapons, kid. Yumyong plays it cool, claiming he just dabbles. But then he points out that despite the plain look, the aura is lethal proof of meticulous forging. The merchant is floored that a kid picked up on that detail with one look. Yumyong decides to drop the coin for it, but the merchant suddenly scrambles toward the back room, shouting for him to hold on a second. A minute later, he rushes back, clutching a storage box. He's been saving this specific beauty. He was waiting for a customer with the eyes to appreciate it. He cracks the lid, unveiling his masterpiece, the Demon Reaper. The energy in the room shifts. Mirio and Yang Yang can feel the power radiating off it. Even Yang Yang, who's clueless about blades, knows he's looking at greatness. The merchant's voice drops. His master actually died, forging this very weapon. He took the hammer and finished the job himself. He looks at Yumyong with anticipation, convinced this sword is legendary. Inside, our boy is stunned. This thing rivals the steel he wielded in his past life. He can feel the absolute cutting essence trapped in the metal. But then he hits the merchant with a curveball. I don't need this one. Even though he sees the craftsmanship is top tier, the merchant is sweating bullets, terrified he somehow messed up. But our MC shakes his head. Nah, it's perfect, he says. He tells the guy to hold his head high, cause he made something incredible, but that's exactly why he can't take it. Internally, he knows carrying a weapon that flashy is basically painting a giant target on his back. He brushes it off, claiming a standard blade works just fine, and asks to check out the one he picked earlier. The smith lets out a disappointed sigh, but nods. But before he can move, the door bursts open as a squad rolls up to the shop, sending the shopkeeper into a full-blown panic. It's young Lord Yan Yun, and he looks absolutely livid. He gets right in the merchant's face, screaming about how he ordered the best sword in the shop. This guy is the heir to the Hyunyang Gate, Seo Chon Yun. He's convinced the smith is holding out on him. The audacity of a lowly blacksmith disrespecting him like that. The poor guy starts stuttering, trying to explain, but he's cut off. Meanwhile, our MC locks eyes on Yun's entourage. He senses a weird foreign energy coming from the guards. Something is definitely sus. Suddenly, the white snake pops out, hissing that it's a demonic aura. It recognizes that nasty vibe from the time it scrapped with the shadowless visitor. Our hero's internal monologue kicks in. He knows exactly what this is. But what the heck are cultists doing all the way out here in Sacheon? The snake doesn't have a clue either, but suggests they might get some answers if they capture a few for a little chat. Just then, Yan steps up to Yun Myung, barking at him to move, threatening to wipe out the blacksmith and anyone else blocking his view. But then, out of nowhere, our boy calls him a brat and flicks him right on the forehead hard. The guards gasp, totally shook, screaming for their young lord. Our MC stands tall, telling Yun he's got zero business holding a sword. Doesn't matter if it's the best blade on the planet. He needs about 20 more years of training before he even thinks about it. One of the guards draws his weapon, furious, screaming to know who gave him the guts to flick the forehead of Jin Seon Nam's grandson. He announces that death is the only option now. But our hero, he completely ignores the guy and asks a simple question. So how are you guys connected to the demonic cult? The whole room goes ice cold. Suddenly a figure steps out from the crowd, leaving everyone wondering where the hell he just appeared from. Yon and his guards spin around to face a masked man. He stares them down, asking how they dare disrespect his cult by using that name. The guards rush to shield their young lord, but it's useless. With a single motion, the masked guy wipes out half of them. He decides he's taking Yon as a souvenir and orders his crew to slaughter the rest. Then he turns to our hero, actually sounding impressed. He realized our boy saw right through their shadow cloak and asks how he spotted them. In the corner, the blacksmith and the girls are shaking like leaves, but our MC just shrugs. He says it's kinda hard not to notice them, considering demonic cultists reek. He laughs, telling the masked leader he should keep that ugly mug covered if he wants to stay hidden. Mirio screams at him, asking if he has a death wish, provoking a monster like that. The masked villain tilts his head, asking if watching the guards get butchered wasn't enough to scare him straight. Our hero just smirks. Nah, you guys should be the ones scared of me. He grabs a sword from the blacksmith. He calls the cultists just as trashy as the guards they just dropped. The leader is fuming now, and barks orders to drag Yon away while he handles our boy personally. A cultist grabs the young lord and Yeon screams, totally clueless about who these guys actually are. Meanwhile, our MC notices something. The kid really didn't sense them at all, though he's not exactly innocent either. Suddenly, the masked leader lunges, yelling at our hero to focus, but it's over in a flash. One strike. Clang. The villain's sword shatters. An explosion of energy blasts out, leaving the leader sprawled on the dirt, brain broken, trying to process what just happened. He thought he was faster. He tries to counter, but thud, his head hits the floor before his body does. The minions freeze in their tracks. Mirio Myung and even young Lord Yeon are staring jaws on the floor. Yoon Myung stands over the headless corpse, finally admitting the truth, the sword in his hand, absolute masterpiece. The balance is insane, and the edge is so sharp it cut through without getting a single drop of blood on it. He turns to the smith. This is the work of a true master. He acknowledges that the smith's teacher created a legend, and the apprentice is doing a hell of a job keeping that legacy alive. Hearing that, the blacksmith starts tearing up. He remembers his old master telling him that every great weapon eventually finds the soul it belongs to. Back in the moment, the smith wipes his eyes. He's finally found the true owner of the Demon Reaper. Meanwhile, our hero is facing a literal tsunami of cultists rushing him at once. But honestly, they're wasting their breath. With a casual flick of the Demon Reaper, he wipes the floor with them. Yeon is shaking in his boots, and the blacksmith's jaw is practically on the floor. The girls are totally shook, except for Mirio. She's over the shock, just standing there thinking, when exactly did the young lord turn into a master swordsman? Cut to a shadowy corridor nearby, where a man struts through convinced he's playing four-dimensional chess while everyone else is playing checkers. This green-haired schemer is gloating to himself. Not even the unorthodox coalition suspects he's got demon cult blood pumping through his veins. Meet Yeon Ujung, second son-in-law to the big boss Jinsun Nam and a total fraud hiding in plain sight. He's obsessing over his kid, So Chong, a natural-born killer, just like a true Yeon clan member should be. And that isn't just daddy bias talking. It's a fact. No one in So Chong's generation can even touch the hem of his robe. Ujung clenches a fist, eyes gleaming with ambition. If his boy dominates the martial arts display at the upcoming banquet and snags a seat in the coalition, the takeover begins. By the time those fools realize the rot has set in, Sichuan will belong to the demons. Suddenly, the door bursts open. A masked grunt stumbles in, bleeding out and screaming for the boss. Ujung freezes. He knows that uniform. It's the Thousand Moons unit, his son's personal security detail. The grunt drops the bomb. The young lord, he's been jumped by a masked monster. Meanwhile, back at the shop, Yeon Myung is stacking bodies like cordwood. The place is literally becoming a graveyard. Mirio sighs, looking at the carnage. Who's gonna clean this up? She adds that if Miso were here, the girl would have fainted 5 minutes ago. Then she notices a loose end. Hey, didn't one of them bolt earlier? He's definitely coming back with backup. But here's the kicker. Our MC smirks. I let him run. He levels his blade right at a trembling So Chung and drops some truth, saying this kid is clueless about his own demon cult roots. He implies someone big hired those bodyguards to keep the secret safe. So Chung screams, I don't even know who they were, but the MC just presses the cold steel harder against his throat. The kid starts sobbing like a baby. Our boy looks toward the door. Don't worry. We'll get the full story from the guests arriving right now. Boom, a voice thunders from the street. Ujung has arrived and he brought the whole cavalry. I know you have my son, he roars. Let him go and surrender or prepare for pain. He offers a mercy deal but then snaps, screaming he'll feed their corpses to the beasts if they resist. Typical villain monologue. Our hero strolls out cool as a cucumber. We're ready, he taunts. But seriously, what can you actually do about it? He's got So Cheong in a chokehold. Inside, Mi Ryo, Yang, and the blacksmith are peeking through the cracks, nervous wrecks. Honestly wondering who the bad guy is here. Mi Ryo grits her teeth, counting the army facing them. Whispering, what is he thinking? Outside, Ujung barks, you have no idea who you're messing with, brat. Our MC cuts him off instantly. The demon cult. Boom. He tells them he can smell the rot and evil energy reeking off them. It's demonic energy, he states flatly. Hiding your identity to destroy Sichuan from the inside right. He grins. Does the unorthodox coalition know? Probably not. But once they find out, you're toast. Ujung freezes. How did this kid spot the hidden energy with just one look? And wait, why is he without a scratch? The Heavenly Moon Brigade should have turned him into paste by now.